I'm sorry, y'all don't see that. There's like the circle thing that goes like this, and I just sit there and wait. Y'all, it's a good thing I'm a little person because you see, and I mean, and then I have a TV tray right here that has, y'all know, look, I quit cussing, but I ain't quitting smoking. But I'm gonna cut back some. But anyway, and then I have a computer over here that has the interview with Linda Ives that we're gonna listen to. That would be my third interview with her. Hold on just a second. Let me see you back in a few minutes, Shelly Joe. Hello, Shelly Joe. Okay. Yeah, first things first. Um, you can now put people in timeout for different lengths, ranging from 10 to 24 hours. Here, Donald, can you? I think you say, "Hey, Shelly Joe," so I'm thinking that means you see me. Can you do another one just so I know that this is working? Top chat, all that good stuff. Live chat. Okay, Donald. Let's see. Linda Lou. Hello. Is this in Arkansas? Yes, ma'am, Linda. Are you new, Linda? And Donald said, yes, I see you. Um, Linda Lou. Hello. Is this in Arkansas? Are you in Arkansas, Linda? Or are you just learning about Arkansas? Because if you're not in Arkansas, you got lots to learn. Even Arkansans have lots to learn about Arkansas. Y'all, my hair's gonna drive me crazy. I've gone back to just straight, natural, whatever, and basically not fixing it. And it's kind of nice, but it gets on my nerves. So while that interview's playing, I may go pull it up in a bun. I don't know. We'll see. But um, yeah, I live in Arkansas. Okay, Linda Lou. How familiar are you with the Boys on the Tracks case? This one, and how did you find me? I'm curious. Um, let's see here. I love the name Linda Lou. So cute. So cute. And y'all, I got a new dog. I got a new dog. She's sitting over here. Her name's Maggie. I call her Magdalene, whatever. I am, when I'm playing this interview, I'm gonna have to take her out to TT. She's had a few accidents in the house today. I just got her today. Just got her today off the highway. She's special, that one. So now I have two dogs, three turtles, and a cat. And Maja's gone to her dad, so I'm responsible for like everyone. I've got to give the turtles a bath tonight, which is going to be really late, but that's okay. Um, and Merry Christmas Eve, right? Okay, we're gonna do because y'all know I'm back on my game, and I ain't letting nothing take me off my game anymore. But just a few things that I want to touch on. Insofar as get it out of the way, I hate talking about it, money, monetary stuff. Um, First off, this has been going on for years. I've never told a soul. Never told a soul. I get messages all the time. Men will send me pictures of $5,000 and say it's yours if basically I'm not cussing on the show anymore. I cuss in real life, but I promise not to cuss on this anymore. But like, and try to get me to like take the money and do stuff with them and to catapult my platform. I'm not that girl. You got the wrong girl. Okay, I'm not that girl. And let me tell you, the reason I'm talking about tonight is I'm effing sick of it. I get it all the time. And then they always say, I love what you do. I respect what you do. I love it. No one does what you do. This, that, and the other. Then why wouldn't you just contribute the money to help support my platform? But no, they want things in return. And I'm sick of it. And I'm here to say publicly, I'm not calling names out, Stop it. Just stop it. I am so sick of it. It's demeaning. It is so demeaning. Okay. Like, I'm your hero. You think I'm just going to hand you over some GD money for nothing? So, aside from everything else I put up with doing what I do, I put up with that. And I'm done. And so hopefully after saying all this tonight, this will cease. Because if I get one message, I get 10 a week about this. And I'm sick and tired of it. Or send me nudes and I'll cash app you. I'll help support your platform. Or I can you can be my girlfriend and I will finance everything you do. And as long as you do it the way I want you to do it, swear to God, those propositions. This is why I'm single. Okay. Enough of that. Let me get to chat real quick. So I think I made it real effing clear. Okay. I mean, well, I'm gonna say it. I'm pissed. I'm sick of it. It is disgusting. It's vile, and it makes me want to throw up. Okay, and knowing the work that I do, man, this is my work. This is if you would have or wouldn't have gone off the rails, then I'd like to shake your hand if you've been through what I've been through. But I'm back. Okay, and we're gonna be a respectful platform, and we're gonna stick to and stick to. And I've been doing really well with it, not skipping around and doing all that and jumble mumbo and confusing people. Not that it won't ever happen again, because y'all know how my mom works. But I'm just saying, don't do that. Do not send me pictures of $5,000 and tell me you'll give it to me if I sleep with you. Okay. To chat. She says, yeah, I love Linda Lou's name. Okay. I had my pit bull have 12 puppies last night. Oh my God. Congratulations. Donald Strickland does that make you a G-Paw? Or he had a bunch of puppies. Yeah, that kind of makes you a G-Paw. He's got 12 pit bull. Congratulations. That's a lot of puppies, Donald. I hope they all survived. Let's see. Linda Lee, looks like I'm a subscriber, but this popped up in my feed. I'm in Newport. Do you know? Oh, yeah, I know where Newport is. That's the whole Brooke Allensworth murder I've worked. Yes, ma'am. You got a lot to take in on this channel if you'll just keep on sticking with me. But yes, I am very, very familiar with Newport and Jackson County. Very familiar. One of the most corrupt counties in the state of Arkansas. Donald, Merry Christmas. Donald, if they really wanted to support you, they would have just gave you the money. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, they would have. There was something else I wanted to touch on because this interview is like a little over 2 hours long, and I'm gonna take a few notes as it goes on. It's excellent. It is 2.5 hours of Linda Hayden Ives, mother of brutally murdered Kevin Ives and Don Henry. Kevin Ives, Don Henry, his friend, Boys on the Tracks murders, unedited, no commercials. See, that's what everybody's got to understand. I do ads now on YouTube, and I still haven't made $1 off of it. I still ain't had a dime from YouTube. But the whole interview is completely unedited. It went places you would never dream. It is excellent, and it has to be told. This is Linda Ives' voice from the grave, and if you haven't seen, go back to the first 2 interviews I did. I mean, obviously watch tonight, but you've got to go back and watch and listen to see what I'm doing. This is what I paid $600 for out of my own pocket. to get this computer fixed to save my work after Amy Jo deleted everything, my old co-host. The only thing that sucks about this is Amy Jo's in it, because we were together back then. So just ignore Amy Jo. She didn't have a lot to add anyway, and the stuff she did say, I was sitting there thinking last night, I was gonna listen, like I have my glasses on. I don't know where Terry Bryan is, but are we gonna have fun time tonight? For people out there that don't understand, fun times when I put my glasses on and we have fun and we laugh. Anyways, I remember sitting there last night going to Amy Jo, like she's so off the wall. Screw her. We're not talking about her. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so Donald's the proud papa of all his puppies. Also, for everyone out there in chat, I have super chat. So if you can help me by sending a super chat, it'll show like in the comments like a $sign or something. You can send one. I'm learning all this new. Also, I signed up for memberships. I canceled my website. It was costing me $38 a month, and it was bringing in nothing. It used to before everything blew up. And so I just said, no, I'm just going to do. So the memberships on here are $4.99 a month. And basically it's going to help support what I do. And help me with gas for traveling, this, that, and the other, because I am an investigator. Okay. And one of these future podcasts soon, all the pictures that I took when I traveled to the site of where the boys were murdered, the payphone, where the payphone used to be, all that. Like I have it all, and I'm going to show it all, and I can't wait. And the only other thing, there was one more thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. Got the super chat, and if anybody feels compelled, they respect my work and they believe in what I do and want to sign up for memberships, $4.99 a month on YouTube, I'm assuming it shows what you can do. If somebody sends a super chat, I really don't know how to tell if it's a super chat or not. So if you can tell me it is one, I've never had one. I know Tim Nielsen says, well, hello, Shelly, with a big smiley face. Timmy is here with you. Tim, let me tell y'all, Donald, you will appreciate this, and a lot of you will that are watching. He saw through Jared Lozick. You were talking about Linda Lou, we're talking about Newport. Okay, I'm the one that got Adventures with Purpose out to Newport to search for Brooke Allensworth's body. For which, by the way, as it turned out months later in the sonar, there was a skeleton there. And Jared saw it and he ignored it. If it's not Brooke, it's somebody. Somebody's in that pond. But I was made out to be the crazy one, right? Anyway, Tim was a follower of Adventures with Purpose, and he saw straight through now it's like 1 million views, the one Jared has out of me on the video that he has out of me, and everybody, and it made me look crazy. But I fought back. I have my own videos from that day. But anyways, and it didn't help the crazy people I had with me, and the sister, Kelly Avance, who was an hour and a half late to the search for her own sister. I mean, true story. That's what I'm dealing with. But he saw through it all, and then he did his own homework, and he found, wow, Shelly Jo was telling the truth the whole time. She was not the crazy person, So Tim, let's everybody give kudos to Tim. We love Tim Nielsen. One more thing, and then we're going to start this interview. Sorry, I'm thirsty. West Memphis 3 case. Y'all know I'm very, very, very dear friends with Terry Hobbs, the ones who Memphis 3, Damien Eccles, Miss Kelly. They didn't do it. Okay, they did not kill his boys, but neither did Terry Hobbs. Okay, now the exciting thing is his daughter, Amanda Hobbs, who's never been heard from before, except for one other time where she was being paid like $500 to tell salacious things about her dad in order to get her fixed because she had a drug problem. She's ready to come on this platform and she's ready to tell her story. And let me tell you something. I'm the person she picked. She has had many HBO, all of them. She could go anywhere. She's picked me, and I cannot be more honored or humbled. And she's going to tell her story, and she's going to tell her story from her truth from back then, and then also throughout her life. She's had a very hard life. I talked to her for an hour last night. I love me some Amanda Hobbs. She is crazy as hell. I am crazy as hell. Okay. Terry Hobbs is not crazy. So he doesn't get us, but he loves us. Okay. He's so patient. Y'all, let me tell you something. Terry Hobbs is one of the best men. And that was the one thing I told Amanda. I said, we're going to do this podcast the way you want to do it. I want you to be able to tell your story because she wants to start her own podcast and we're going to help her and we're going to support her. But she's going to do one with me first. But I said, I have to say that my sticking point is because remember the rumors, or not rumors, where Pam Hobbs, the wife, and then Amanda said, yeah, Terry, her dad, molested her. It was lies. Amanda told me it was all lies. They were paying me $500 a day so I could go get my fix for my drugs and alcohol. She goes, I had to come up with something salacious. Now, this is in the West of Memphis movie. You got Devil's Night movie where I believe Reese Witherspoon played Pam Hobbs. So it's a great movie. But and then you've got west of Memphis. That's the one Amanda did, and she sat up there and said her daddy molested her. She says, Shelly Joe, my daddy never molested me. I made it all up. Okay. And because I told her, I said, my biggest thing is I want to clear his name. I've always wanted to clear his name. You guys know this. I will clear Terry Hobbs' name. I have been clearing Terry Hobbs' name. I have changed a lot of minds. I have fought for that man. You will never meet a finer man than Terry Hobbs. And remember, when I first came across Terry Hobbs, I thought he was a murderer. And I told him that. And then I went and I did my own research and was like, no, this man didn't do this. Terry Hobbs came and saw me, him and Amanda, when I had my neck surgery. By the way, have y'all seen my scar? It's really bad. I don't know if you're gonna see it. But anyway, they came and saw me in the hospital. And of course I was crazy I was all doped up, and Amanda is just crazy anyway. So poor Terry just sat there and he didn't know what to say. But anyway, without giving out any further details or whatever, I'm meeting with Terry Hobbs and Amanda Hobbs next week, and we're going to get the ball rolling on getting Amanda Hobbs live. She's going to be here with she's going to do it. She's not going to do it on audio. She's going to be here, and she's small, so I can probably put a chair right here, but whatever. And you're going to get a live interview, a world exclusive that no one on the planet can get but me. And if that doesn't tell you about my credibility and who I am, then nothing will. All right. Let's see. Thank you, Tim. Okay. I remember that. My mom worked with Brooke's dad years ago. Is that the case? Jackson, Independent County? Yeah. Linda Lou. Your mom worked with Brooke's dad was it at the hospital? Because there's major things about that too. And the Johnny Carlson guy that the woman that took Brooke's dad's place, all of a sudden her brother disappeared. Yeah, Linda. Yeah. Oh girl. Yeah. Tim, well, by God, Timmy humbly bows to the crowd. Lynn, she's got her wrench. Lynn, listen, my bestie Lynn, she's got her wrench, so don't anybody act out. Now listen, on as far as editing comments, I would like, before you guys like shut them down, I would like to read them first. So like Lynn, like text me or say something in the chat like, Shelly, check this comment out first, just because once you guys hide them or put these people in timeout, I can't see their comments. And I like to see it because the thing is, I don't like to censor, and Lynn knows this, and Lynn's very good about not censoring. Yes, the hospital. Okay. Yeah. 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 Oh wow. That's a whole like year's worth of a podcast I could go on about that, Linda Lou, over at the hospital. Wow. Anyways, but yeah, so if anybody gets online now, if they are saying racial slurs or whatever, get them out. But I mean, if someone's opposing me but being serious or what, or if you're not sure, I don't know. Let me at least read it first, and then I'll say, "Sick 'em, Lynn. Get them out." Um, yes, the hospital. She said, "Oh, I know about some of that." Oh, Linda knows. Girl, me and you need to talk. We need to talk. Donald, what happened to my wrench? I don't know. Let me give you one back if I can. Hold on. Report. How'd you do that? Add as a moderator. I just made you a managing moderator, Donald. You should have a wrench now. Linda Lou, I didn't know it was all connected yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And not to get off the subject of the boys on the tracks, but yeah, it's that you bring that up. One day we will get to all of it, I promise. Oh, Donald's got his wrench. Everybody, let's clap for Donald. He's got his wrench. Okay, he's got his wrench. Let's see here. Is there anybody else in here that deserves a wrench? Y'all know what a wrench is. That's well, y'all probably are all deserving, but I mean, I got to be able to know, Timmy has been such a great. We're gonna add him as a moderator. All right, Timmy, you now have a wrench. You should have a wrench. And then oh, Lynn texted me. Hold on. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. Now it's time to play the interview. And here's the deal. I've got this dog over here. I'm gonna show him to you in a little bit, but oh, and by the way, just for everybody that wants to know about the turtles, I got Majo an early Christmas present. She got a big turtle cage. It's in the living room. They have UV lights, and it's like super long, and they have their own bedroom. It's like really dark in there. And now the cat sleeps in the turtle's old bed over there, that where they used to sleep. And then I've got Maggie is what I call her, this new dog that I'm gonna have to take her out to pee pee because she has to pee pee a lot and she has accidents. And I haven't eaten, so this interview's long, entertaining as hell. You don't need me. I mean, I'll be here more than not, but I may go make me some mac and cheese, once it gets going good. But we're gonna start it. Um, Donald, I see you. Linda Lou, I was asking if Jackson or Independence County is in charge of Brooks' case. I was confused at that. Okay, well, that's the thing. You're confused because both counties are trying to claim it. It depends on who's asking as to which county. You see what I'm saying? They don't want this case solved. So if it's something Independence County's in the hot seat for, they'll say, "Oh, we don't have that case. Jackson County does." Then you go to Jackson County, and they're in the hot seat. "Oh no, we don't have Independence County." It even went on to White County. Okay, so yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, y'all did get a new sheriff. An ad popped up. I'm so sorry. Well, it's I gosh, living doing this. All right, now to Linda Ives, and again, you're gonna hear Amy Jo, but I mean, whatever. And where I start this is right when we call her, and I had just said, Linda said, I don't know. Linda Ives had the nerve to say, I'll interview, but I feel like I'm going to be so boring. She literally said, I said, you're Linda Ives. There's zero boring about you. Like, I can't even believe she said it. She was so humble. Y'all, love this woman, and I'm going to fight for her kid. She knows I'm fighting. She's up there fighting with me. Tim, say what? Me, a moderator? Well, this is an honor, darling. I shall keep my eyes as peeled as a banana on this dazzling James channel. And then Donald says they can pay you for it. Pay me for what? I don't know what that means. But I'm gonna go ahead and we're doing this. So I'm gonna shut up. Now I might pause it here and there, but I might not.
Social media, but I've not.
Yeah, you've never talked to her on the phone.
I need for someone to chime in and say sound is good.
We need to
And if
see
it's
her.
too loud,
I've
I'll
only
turn it
met her
down.
once in person. The first time I interviewed her, spent the whole day with her. She's an incredible woman. And then we've talked on the phone several times since we message, of course, and y'all do. But Amy gets to actually hear her voice this time, and vice versa. So we're gonna call her right now, and we're just gonna talk. We're gonna get updated on some stuff.
We're perfect. Good deal.
Hello.
Linda.
Hey, Shelly.
Hey, and it's Amy Jo too. Hi, Miss
Hey,
Linda. Nice to finally talk with you for real.
I don't know.
You're so sweet. I just told everybody that you were messaging saying, I'll be your boringest guest ever. I was like, are you kidding me? Everyone wants to hear from you. Oh my gosh.
Maybe I've heard it so long and so many times it seems boring.
No, there is nothing. That's the opposite of boring, your story. It's the most tragic, horrific story, but it's definitely the opposite of boring. That's for sure. And people, I mean, we get people, gosh, I haven't even been able to share with you recently the messages I've gotten just in the last 6 months of people saying, y'all keep the good work up. I hope you can get justice for Linda Ives. I pray for her all the time. You know, they don't know you and you don't know that. But I mean, they see what we're doing, and these are people from all over the country. So.
Well, I appreciate that. I know it's an old story, and I've been told many times by people in the media that old news.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of new things coming out. I know you're aware of that.
Yes.
And I'm always grateful for people willing to come out and tell what they know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to know what's true and what's not true.
Yes.
I hate to cast doubt on anything or anybody, and I want everything looked at. And but one of the big problems with the story from the very beginning is that there's been so much disinformation out there.
Yes.
It's been a struggle for many, many years trying to sort out what's real and what's not.
And, me and Amy have figured out in this venture that it's been on purpose. That in order to distract and detract and get you to go a different way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, at first, there was so many different stories, and we were trying to follow them all and run down rabbit holes that were strictly a waste of time. But, there's even an FBI document now that states that was part of the cover-up.
Yeah.
The disinformation campaign.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They still use that same old play today and all of the different things that are going on. That's what they do.
Yeah, well, honestly, I hadn't even had a chance to discuss all this with you. Me and Amy just need to have a three-way phone call Sunday soon to catch up. But because you don't even, gosh, I haven't caught you up on everything that we even know because there's so much and just so many people that have reached out. But we've had people come at us with disinformation that we've caught, and that we, yeah, just since we've been doing all this, and I know sometimes I have contacted you and said, "What do you know about that?" or "What do you know?" But then there's some we've kind of gotten good at it where we can cipher, or
Yeah, it gets a little easier to spot as time goes by. But there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
It takes up precious time, and we spent 2 years proving a murder occurred before we could even look for a killer.
Right.
So it is an absolute detriment to the case.
It is, and it's the opposition that the people that don't want the truth out that send these people in to sabotage.
Yes.
It's true. And it's the evil out there. The people just don't understand until they get involved in this, and
people that act like they're trying to help, when in, like you said, in all reality,
their whole purpose is to sabotage. Yes. Tell Linda, people, you made the point that it took you even 2 years to prove there was a murder. Okay, why don't we hone in on that for a few minutes and tell the audience what that's about? Meaning, going back to, remember how they tried to pass it off as they smoked too much pot, and go kind of.
Immediately we began hearing stories. I know, for example, that one of them has been shot. We began hearing stories. So many different things. It's hard to even relate. But we didn't. A tarp is another perfect example. They've been covered with a tarp. They assured us that was an optical illusion. Even lied to us, telling us that if there had been a tarp covering the boys, fibers of that tarp would have been impacted in their clothes or even in their bodies. And in fact, that was not the case. Well, nearly 2 years later, we learned they hadn't even tested their clothes or anything.
Right.
So, the disinformation came not just from those people out there.
Well, and for a fact that tarp existed. I mean, you had people that the guys that were running the train, first responders, yeah. And
it was hard to know anything from the very beginning, and of course, at that point in time, it was really difficult for me to know much of anything.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't read the autopsy or until after Burton had done the second autopsy. I had not even written Alex's first autopsy.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was in the medical field, and I would have her read reports and things and kind of generally tell me what they said, because I was afraid to know. I just, and of course, what I imagined was probably much worse than what was actual.
Yeah.
But it was horrific and hard to cope with all the different things that were going on and coming at us from different directions. And so we just, it took literally 2 years to prove a murder had been committed. And of course, that was through the grand jury finding.
Yeah, and that was because of why? They were trying to pass this off as suicides at first, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or accident.
We were very told that this was by Jim Sheriff, that Alec intended to rule suicide. And we told him in no uncertain terms, we will never accept suicide.
Yeah.
Ever. And so he goes back and tells Alec, well, you can't rule suicide. Let's rule it accidental. The parents are not going to accept suicide. So they ruled it accidental and claimed that, the first story was there were minute and small amounts of marijuana, and those minute amounts became massive amounts. Then they smoked so much they just passed out on the tracks, covered themselves up with a tarp and didn't hear it right.
Right.
And,
And wouldn't there be like blunts laying around and stuff if they had smoked that much pot?
I'm sorry, what's that, Amy Jo?
Wouldn't there have been like several blunts sitting around that if that was the case, if
Like
they had smoked some, you know, the
The
cigarettes.
roaches from the cigarettes
Yeah.
in the pot or whatever.
No, if they had smoked that much pot, they would have had the butts sitting all around them on the tracks.
Not only that, in my mind, the big thing was, and the first thing out of my mouth when he said that was that, you know, why would they lie in identical positions, soldier style, and covered up with a tarp?
Yeah, normally when you faint or you die, you fall in a heap, in a very disheveled heap. You're not going to be aligned perfectly side by side and cover yourself up with a tarp and then
soldier style, side by side, identical positions. One person might fall a particular way, the other one is going to fall the identical way.
Exactly.
And, you know, it was just all totally unbelievable and ludicrous.
Because it was all obvious stuff that it didn't take an expert eye to get. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. It just, you know, none of it made sense. None of it made sense.
They must all think we just fell off the turnip truck yesterday or something like that. I mean,
I know. He tried to he spread out all these photographs all over a table that we didn't want to see. We told him numerous times we didn't want to see them. And he said we had to look at them to see his proof. And, of course, you know, that was, you know, to make us emotional and not have our wits about us.
they were trying to create an emotional argument instead of a logical argument.
Yeah, and I'm going to just stop you for just a second because I do want to make it clear to the audience because Fahmy Malik, he's one, y'all, that we have not honed in on a whole lot. I mean, we've talked about here and there just because there's been other more important figures that we're trying to go after right now, but we will get to him. But Fahmy Malik is a huge player in this, and he was Bill Clinton when he was the medical examiner, Clinton appointee, and did he not? I'll let you tell the story about that, and because I remember, you know, he even gave him a raise after all this, and then Jocelyn Elders took up for him. I mean, took up for Fahmy.
Exactly. The more we complained, and the more things that we brought out that were so wrong, the more protective Clinton became. He stated that Bell was simply overworked, he was stressed out, he didn't make enough money, he had every excuse in the world for Malik. And he defended him and refused to remove him from office, no matter what, even when it was proven that he fabricated evidence in murder trials.
Yeah. Prior to Kevin and Dawn, right?
Yeah, this is a different case than Kevin and Dawn.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were so many cases. It wasn't just one case. It was
30 or
multiple cases.
Did he not declare a beheading natural causes?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had their head cut off, and he said it was natural causes.
And that the dog ate the head or something.
Good grief.
Yeah, that was Dewey Ryland. He was a gentleman from your part of the country, as a matter of fact.
Oh, man.
Say pack mules and not the drugs were dropped.
You know, he has erroneously been added to the Clinton body count. You know, I don't think it had anything to do with Clinton.
It did have.
But his name is associated with Kevin and Dawn.
It was.
And connected through Malik, and so.
Yeah.
It's added on there.
I haven't dug hard into Dewey's, but I have seen enough to where I could see a connection, but I can't speak on it because I can't really remember it. But I did have a relative of his reach out. And
I have talked with, I'm sure it's the same relative, but back when all of this happened, I talked with one of Dewey's relatives.
Yeah.
And they were scared to death. I do know that.
Yeah.
They were scared to pursue do anything. But his head had been beheaded. It was not a ragged, torn situation with his head. It was a clean cut, very clear that it was done with a knife.
So purposeful.
And the state medical examiner said he died of natural causes, y'all. We can't make this up. Like, this is not conspiracy. This is not, this is true stuff.
Well, and the reason he was so convinced about Dewey was that he claimed that the dog ate the head. The head was not found with the body. He claimed that the family dog ate the head, and the reason he knew that's what happened was that the dog had thrown up, and somebody brought him samples of that vomit, and that he found, tissue in the head, that kind of thing, and which is totally made up. Right. And the head was later found intact, quietly buried with the body. Right. And the whole thing was just.
And this is the guy, Fahmy Malik, who not only was given a raise by Governor Clinton at the time before he was president, but was defended. I mean, Clinton defended him. You can get on YouTube right now and find the clips. And Jocelyn Elders, who was she over on DHS at the time because she got appointed.
She became the Surgeon General at one time.
She did, but she was. Who was she? What did she do back then, Linda? Remember when she was sticking out?
Yeah, she was head of the health department. And Malik's attorneys actually negotiated with the health department to create a position for Malik at the health department, and he went to work for them. When Clinton decided to run for president, it was clear that Malik was going to be a problem.
Right.
So they negotiated his transfer to the health department.
Yeah.
And gave him a raise, and Jocelyn defended him to the hilt.
Yeah, and then she got paid back for defending him by getting appointed as our Surgeon General.
Right, exactly. Which was actually a step above Malik being Surgeon General.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just insane. It is almost laughable. Now, me and Amy came across a article. I think you and I may have discussed it. I may have sent it to you. I cannot remember, but it's where Jocelyn Elder's son, was it her son, Amy, that remember that he made on the Clinton body count? It was it was the guy that was going to testify against her son because her son had a big drug problem.
Kevin Raven.
Okay.
Was the witness that ended up dead. He was set to testify against Kevin Elder.
Suicide.
Yeah, Jocelyn Elder's son. See, people, that's one we haven't even talked to y'all about. Jocelyn Elder's son this guy was going to testify against him and put her son away, and he ended up dead. Yeah.
And the case going to trial, and ended up dead like so many people do. That
sure.
And that's their MO. If there's a credible witness that they can't discredit, that they want to keep off the stand, that's what they do. They kill them.
That's right. That's right. Lots of proof of that right there.
Oh, yeah. And we've told everyone that, of course, that you had filed your FOIA lawsuit in 2016, and you did it tried to do it right at the anniversary of their deaths. Was it like the 29th?
On the 24th, I think. Out on the 24th of 2016.
Yeah.
August 24th of
2016. Yeah. And so we want to talk about that because we've told people, you filed this FOIA, which is, for people that don't understand, that's Freedom of Information Act. That is your right as a citizen to get on any case, pretty much, the documents on it. You can FOIA anything. Now, if you're in Arkansas and you're trying to FOIA, you've got anything from the state police, the Arkansas State Police, where Bill Sadler's the public information officer. You ain't going to get what you want. That's
unless you sue them.
That's a given, yeah, unless you sue them. In fact, we have a murder, a girl that was murdered up here. She was from Mountain Home area of Melbourne, is where they found her, just right up the road from where I am. And Rebecca Gould and Catherine Townsend actually lives. Well, she doesn't live here. She lives in New York City now, but her her dad just lives right across the river. In fact, it's such a small world. I got my wedding photos made at his house. It's a gorgeous house. But anyways, she started doing podcasts 2 years ago and opened back this Rebecca Gould case back up because Linda, no one's ever like it's been a weird one like yours, kinda. Not as weird like out there like yours, like where things sound conspiratorial or whatever, even though it's true. Yeah, but it's more of just cover up, like just complete total cover up by Ives County and Arkansas State Police. Anyways, she's got these podcasts called Hell and Gone, and she came to Melbourne and she spent 6 weeks in Melbourne trying to get this case back opened up. What she learned, and she was number 5 on Apple's iTunes. I mean, she even got an Emmy, and she's in New York City. She just did her second season that just premiered and finished on, I don't know if you remember, Linda, the Jamie Ward case where, yeah. She, I'll tell you about that later. I'll send you the podcast you can listen to. You'll probably be very interested in. But she fell off at the party. Yeah. So there's another murder that has been unsolved on purpose. Okay. And what Catherine figured out was on this Rebecca Gould thing. Wait a minute. These people know who did it. They don't want to solve this case. This case could have been solved just like yours, Linda. This case could have been solved. Yours, Linda, Kevin and Dawn's could have been solved that night. Oh, yeah. With the witnesses, the eyewitnesses of Kirk Lane and Jay Campbell at that payphone. I mean, you know, and she's finding the same thing with Rebecca Gould. And she has finally sued. She is suing. She's filing right now. She's suing, and good for her. She's that Bill Sladler will not give her the Arkansas State Police will not give her the documents she has asked for. That there is no reason she shouldn't have them. And he actually is entangled in a lawsuit, I believe now. And there was another one where he was found guilty of hiding documents.
It's a crime.
It's a crime. But I mean, he wasn't criminally charged. But I mean, he was found guilty as far as like in a civil FOIA suit, and so she's using that case to spin off of to try to get what she wants out of the Rebecca Gould's murder, because what she's figured out is what me and Amy Jo's known for quite a while now after dealing with your case and then delving into these others, that they don't want it solved. They don't want it solved.
You know, the big number they usually use, speaking of law enforcement, is that, you know, it's still under investigation, which is usually a lie.
We can't comment on an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
They use that excuse.
And that's what the judge said. He said, you used this when you couldn't. That's not because that was a lie. It wasn't true. Or it's an open investigation or ongoing, or, you know, whatever the terminology they'll use to dodge giving you the documents, you know.
And then what they do is what they usually put an investigator's note in the file, you know, with the current date.
To make it, yeah.
And it looks like they've done something on the case.
With smoke and mirrors. And it's just lies.
And they just bank on the fact that somebody's going to get tired of pursuing it and just give up.
Well, yeah. What happened with this Catherine Townsend on Rebecca Gould was, I mean, I think she just couldn't, she just thought the police would love getting all this information. And then when they didn't, she couldn't figure it out. But then what happened was, I guess she still thought they were good, you know, that law enforcement was behind her and all this. But what happened was people actually started calling in recently, like with tips on Rebecca Gould's murder, to the Arkansas State Police, and the state police wouldn't call them back. State police.
They don't even record a big part of the time.
Yeah, they wouldn't call them back, and they wouldn't.
Anything they don't want to do.
Yeah.
They're accountable to
no one. And they would not also help. There's a $25,000 they've raised for a reward for the murder of Rebecca Gould, and there's a big sign in Melbourne just put up of her just recently, and the state police have declined to help in the reward, said they'll just have to do that on their own. And anyway, so Catherine started getting these calls from people saying, we know this or we know that. And the Arkansas State Police are telling us, or either they won't call them back, or they won't let them tell their story, or they'll say the investigation's no longer ongoing. It's a closed case.
Yeah, they'll say we're not the investigating agency.
Or we're not, yeah. And so these people finally started getting a hold of Catherine, telling her, and that's when she's like, okay, now I see it. Now it all makes sense. They don't want this solved.
And the question is why?
And the question is why. And, Bill Sadler also took control of Linda Collins, our senator's murder, immediately.
He's the gatekeeper of that.
Yeah. And he's the main spokesman on all that. We're going to get into him in another podcast because we've got stuff that we're really upset with him about. But so I want to kind of touch on that. So we'll go back to your FOIA thing. So you filed in 2016. You filed a lawsuit against the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, Bill Clinton, Hillary. In fact, you even have my father-in-law in your lawsuit, Bob Govar, who was one of the U.S. attorneys. I was like, hell yeah! I was so excited. Yeah, right now he's dead. Yeah, he died. No, I was like, well, I died with him. But yeah, I was like, hell yeah! I knew it. I knew he was bad. Yeah, he's getting his.
The first thing that happened with the lawsuit was they threw most of the agencies out of it.
Mm-hmm.
For different various reasons.
And what were some of the reasons that they gave that they weren't?
Yeah, tell everybody what you've been through. Just kind of take us through your story since you filed suit and all the blocks that have been put up in front of you.
Well, it's gone nowhere fast. First of all, they threw most of the agencies out of it. Except for a couple that were worthless, in my opinion.
Which ones did they leave in?
They left in NSA, I believe it was, NRA, maybe Homeland Security. Homeland Security seems to be the one hanging right now.
Oh.
And there's 7 pages they're fighting over. And
Homeland Security didn't start until after 9/11.
It wasn't even an agency that kept it on.
Exactly. I was going to say it wasn't even created until after 9/11.
Exactly.
So they're not even.
I don't even know what they got. But they're fighting over these 7 pages. Makes me want that 7 pages.
Right.
Might have a little something in there that might help.
The latest on that is that the judge said they had to turn them over. And they said they wanted to decide what had to be redacted. And the judge told them if they couldn't decide what had to be redacted, he would. And then he gave them until the end of that week, I think a Friday, to get it on his test. And he was going to decide. So then they filed for an extension, which he denied. And they finally got the pages into the judge, apparently. But it's been 2 years and he's done nothing with it.
Which judge? This is a federal judge.
Brian Miller, federal judge.
What is he in? Is he in? Where is he? Because I know your suit. Where's
he's here.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really thought about it, but I think he's here, Shelly.
Okay. I just didn't know where the jurisdiction would be because it's really all over.
A quick note. The day that interview aired, the next day, this lawsuit she's talking about got dismissed by the federal judge. Don't tell me that's a coincidence. No such thing as coincidence. It got dismissed the day after this interview aired. Dismissed.
Well, I think it's really ugly about him because he's almost been a little bit lenient for our side.
Wow.
In demanding that they turn those pages over and demanding that they do it by a certain time. But he hasn't done anything for 2 years, so it's hard for me not to feel like he's
somebody's hanging him up, yeah.
Well, somebody got to him. Slow walking.
Huh?
Slow walking the street.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's like everything else. It goes nowhere. It's hard to get excited about anything, to tell you the truth, even when it feels like we're making progress, because it doesn't ever go anywhere very fast.
Yeah, you've done this for over 32 years. I mean, so it is hard, but you've never given up, and that's what they didn't count on. They thought you would go away. You were some little, housewife, mousy. Yeah, not Linda Ives. No.
And I would get up and go away.
Yeah.
And I refused to do that.
Yeah. Well, and
What's the name of that judge again? What's his name? The judge that's slow walking those documents. What's his name again?
Brian Miller.
Brian Miller.
we want that. Yeah, we need that case, but this is ridiculous. I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, you did get back some initial documents, didn't you? And they were just all redacted. Like, I remember you sent me some, and there was like an if, an and, and a but. Well, this helps.
We did get some documents, actually, what the name out of however, she was writing her book, she FOI'd and FOI'd and FOI'd, and they stonewalled her just like they done me.
Mm-hmm.
And finally she got Mr. Dick Snyder involved, who went to Washington and had to sit down meeting with them over it. And we ended up getting somewhere around 1,000 pages, all heavily redacted, mostly useless. But there are some very interesting tidbits in there that you can garner from even the redaction.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, we have to take the shameless here, but we have a new website,
yes.
idfiles.com, and you can look at every document in this case that I've been able to get, all the FBI documents, all the state police documents, other various documents, reports that I had, although I went on it just before we went on air to check the links on it because still work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
The website has been resurrected from the 90s and updated, and all of the new information and all the available information put on. And the links are not working, but they will be later. I've got a call in to a webmaster to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because and we did the last podcast. In fact, the last two podcasts, we were touting your new website to get people that are watching on YouTube or listening on SoundCloud to start digging in and looking and stuff like that. And that y'all have.
I want them to be able to look at them directly.
Yeah.
Not take my word for it or my interpretation.
Yeah.
But just to look at the documents themselves and make their own mind.
Exactly. I mean, the proof is right there in front of your face. I mean, but I was going to tell you, I did get on there because, of course, I can't wait to get my hands on any of them. I can't wait. But I got on there a few times, and I couldn't get any documents to pull up either. Like, I couldn't get them.
I don't know what that
and that was like a week or two. Okay.
In and out. Of course, I don't know. I don't think it's anything we're doing.
No.
I mean, I've stopped short of saying
sabotage. Don't stop short. We know that's what's happening.
Well, I don't want anybody to think I'm accusing anybody of sabotaging anything, but I don't know why they're not working because they have worked in the past. I've been on all of them and checked all of them. Yeah. And they were working, but they're not working today, but they will be. So keep checking back if you're interested in looking at any of the documents. They also have all of the old newspapers, which is got so much information in it.
Yeah.
For anybody who wants to take time to read them. I just kept a record of all of those newspaper articles that I could get my hands on over the years.
And that's
the most
ID files.
Comprehensive. Yeah.
IDfiles.com. I stands for eyes, D for Duffy, and files.com. Do you want to talk about Gene Duffy some? Tell everybody that's like your best friend, and we try to.
Right. Gene Duffy was former deputy prosecutor here in the 6th Judicial District, 7th Judicial.
She's a big player in this case, too, by the way.
Yeah. She was head of the drug task force. She was told by a judge, Gary Arnold, a local judge, not to use her task force to investigate any public officials. Well, she was willing to comply with that directive, but as soon as her agents and her hit the street, all they got information on was local officials, corrupt officials.
Right.
And so, it's a dilemma. What are you going to do? Do your job or, listen to a judge who just doesn't investigate any public official? So she took her information to your father-in-law and father-in-law, Bob Govar. She didn't know what else to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an ongoing public corruption investigation going on. So she took him the information.
Yeah.
To go through his investigation. So anyway, Gene and I, of course, did not know each other.
Back then.
Until about 1994 is when she and I met, when we kind of teamed up to make the documentary Obstruction of Justice. And we combined our information, her reports and my files, and shared information, and became very good friends, and still speak with her and see her often, even today, 32 years later.
Yeah.
Or 32 since then, but close to that. And in fact, her and her husband, James, are instrumental in getting this website up.
Right.
And if it hadn't been for them, it probably wouldn't have happened. I'm pretty useless at this point in time.
Well, I remember when I came to your house in February this year, and you were still in the interview and all that when my car broke down right outside your oh my God, anyway. And then it broke down again a week later. I was down there interviewing witnesses. I wonder why. But anyways, whenever I was down there, I remember you talking about y'all getting that website and getting it.
It's been in the works for, I don't know, a couple of years at least. That's how long it's taken to compile all of this information and try to get it in some kind of orderly fashion where it makes it to someone else.
And then
the interview was done about 4 years ago.
And then your friend Ron Dane, who's kind of become we're friends on Facebook. And in fact, that last little deal, I think it was a 20-minute deal he did. I was watching it a few months ago. And I'll be danged, I made it in the video. It was a Facebook post or something about my father-in-law saying he's dirty as AF, and me just talking about the deer. Yeah, talking about the deer cat, and I was like, I made it. It was like 2 in the morning. I was like trying to get out. Then I was like, oh my God.
I tell you, Ron is amazing.
Yeah, tell everybody about Ron Day. Now, he has, I do want to talk about the obstruction of justice videos, go back to that in a little bit, but tell everybody about Ron and his videos, because I want everybody to start with, because he's become, and we've shared his stuff a lot. We've gotten a lot of people watching his videos. They love them. And tell everybody he's from Canada, right? And he started making them before he met you? Or
I didn't know him from Adam. Just suddenly one day a video appeared on the Obstruction of Justice.
On YouTube or
Facebook page. And I was just blown away by the accuracy of it. There's been so much stuff done, a bazillion videos actually by different people.
Yeah.
And, accuracy is always an issue.
Sure.
And that's such a thing with me, because there is so much disinformation out there that, and that was my whole purpose of getting on Facebook, was to try to correct some of the disinformation that was out there.
Right.
And it's impossible. But anyway, Ron's videos were incredible. I was just blown away. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him. I just thought that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I didn't even attempt to contact him, though. I just admired him from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And the videos just kept coming. And I was just so amazed. And when Jean got on and when she finally got on Facebook and saw one of Ron's videos, she said, Linda, who is this guy? I said, I don't know. They talked to him. I can't believe that. So anyway, she had contacted him, befriended him, and we just totally are in love with him.
Yeah.
That this summer, he came down all the way from Canada.
Yeah.
And a part of Investigator that we know and trust, amazing point now. From California came, get people from all over the place. Like Gene and James from Houston, and Don from Canada, and Don from California, and someone else was irritating me. Yeah. Anyway, we had a big old party.
Oh man, how fun!
It was. It really was so nice to meet these people in person and thank them. And, you know, I know why I do what I do and spend my time and energy working on the case. But these people never even knew Kevin.
Yeah.
None of these people did.
And that's what I find disconcerting. What I find disconcerting is there seems to be more people outside of the state and other countries who care more about your son, Don Henry, the families, what's going on, and the people. Not us, notwithstanding. I'm not talking about me and Shelly and other people that are join the cause. But it seems like there's more people outside the state than inside the state that truly care about these.
Well, I don't think it's that truly care. I think it's that actually help. But I think the reason being, when you're from Arkansas, you're terrified to touch the case.
I know. But so it's.
But I see what you're saying. All the help is
coming from the outside.
Aside from me and Amy coming along up until February, yeah.
It's like all the bribery and corruption cases that have been solved and people that are being prosecuted. They weren't prosecuted in Arkansas. They were prosecuted out of a district court in Missouri.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt as far as public officials go in Arkansas.
That's why people are coming to us because they know better. They know not to go to law enforcement because they can't be trusted. I don't trust law enforcement, and I don't trust the judiciary. I don't trust law enforcement. I sure as heck don't trust some of these two-faced politicians who, say one thing and do another. So
yeah, I mean, like, you know about the new suspect, Linda, I told you about back in February, and I still, do you think that I've heard from Sling County, any of the police officers? They don't want to know. And that's what, but I was trying to explain to people in the podcast early on, because your first question is going to be, why aren't you going to the police? And that's what we had to do, try to explain to the viewers and listeners that you don't do that in this case. This is not a case.
Well, and that's one of the things that makes it even harder today, is that even though there's new information, there's
good new information. Yes.
Nobody in law enforcement even wants to make a phone call on them.
Oh, no. And I'm telling you, we have tips. Yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Well, we've got suspects. We've got.
State, not county.
Yeah. Oh, we've got new witnesses. We've got, I mean, God, I probably have, since February, at least 80 people so far come forward with stuff. Even if it was something from back then, or even if it was something from 10 years ago, or something going on right now, and it all connects.
I know. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
It's embarrassing.
More people caring from out of state. Something kind of funny that was what it was at the time. Back when Jay Campbell was on trial in Roanoke, and that trial was going on, I drove down there every day for the trial, and it was during the winter, and it was snowing really hard one day, but I was standing out on the street with a sign, a big 5-foot sign about Jay Campbell and his trial, and I had more people stop and bring me hot chocolate. I had to pay for my lunch somewhere. The people were incredible in Roanoke.
Yeah.
And I laughed and told them, I said, y'all are nicer to me than the people in my hometown.
Wow.
So, I've done the same thing in many times.
Yeah.
And nobody could care less or give me a second look.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's that crazy one time.
Well, either that or they're so what I've learned in Saline County, there are people that are still terrified. They are still absolutely terrified of things going on right now that actually link back to your son's murder. I mean, that place, yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have always promised and always carried through is if you've ever talked to me, no one will ever know.
Right.
No one. Because I understand and I feel responsibility.
Sure.
Those people who are willing to talk to me.
Well, think all the ones that you talked to in the past that ended up dead, the ones that reached out early on, and you know.
It's a touchy situation. Even still, it's amazing. I had a reporter, his name is Philip White. He actually used to be a friend of the White House, but changed and became a Clinton hater after talking with me and some other people.
Mm-hmm.
When he was down here for Clinton's announcement for his presidential run, he was just mingling with the crowd and talking to different people and everything. And he had this young couple that he asked if they happened to know or anything about Swain County, and he said he got this sideways glance, and they looked at him and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm nobody." He said, "I don't even live here." And they said, "You don't talk about Swain County here."
Wow.
And he said, "I was amazed that many years later that people were still afraid to even talk about it."
Yeah. I mean, it's that, it's that real. And, and Jay Campbell, by the way, for the people listening, Kirk Lane, Jay Campbell is one we always go so hard after, because there were two that were named by eyewitnesses of killing those boys at that payphone, beating them down at the payphone. And Campbell, she's talking about when Campbell, as anybody that's been keeping up with our podcast, we did a whole podcast on him, or two, the out of control in Roanoke County, when him and his wife got in all that trouble when he was chief of police in Roanoke. And the trial that Linda's talking about, she stood out there in the snow where the people from Roanoke were bringing her hot chocolate and buying her lunch and just taking care of her and being nice because they knew she was. And because she was in Roanoke, they could show their love for her, versus if she'd been staying in Saline County, they wouldn't want to be seen, if you're in Saline County. But that was the trial she sat through to hopefully watch him go away, which is the same trial that my father-in-law testified in. And remember, he was called to testify. Lorna McCaslin, the prosecutor, he was called as a prosecutor's witness. That was the deal he cut in order for him not to get in trouble over his lot being mowed by those prisoners. And he got up on the stand and said, what was it he said, Linda? Ray Campbell's the finest standing.
Oh, yeah. He even leaves Buchanan to go to church on Sunday.
Well, he would know since they had a deer camp together.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he would know.
Yeah.
He didn't know that at the time. One of the jurors asked Bob, part of my testimony was conversations that I had with Bob over an extended period of time about Wayne and Campbell, and I would beg him to look at them, and I would recount all the different sources of their names and everything.
Uh-huh.
And he said, Linda, I'm looking at everything. And he told me at one point that he was ready to indict for the whole ball of wax.
Mm-hmm.
And I testified to that in Campbell's trial.
Now, was this Campbell's criminal trial, or is this or was this the defamation suit you testified in? Remember, because my father-in-law testified in that one too.
Right. This is in the criminal trial.
Okay.
Campbell. Okay. And one of the jurors raised her hand and said, "Can I ask you a question?" And he said, "Yes." And they said, "Did you tell Linda Ives that you were ready to indict for the whole ball of wax?" And I was sitting there just, of course, staring holes to it, seeing if he was going to tell the truth. And he was looking at me, and I was looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Well, I don't remember using those words, but that sounds like something else I said."
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Didn't he turn real red face?
He didn't want to come out and lie about it, but
Perjure himself on the stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right either. So, I mean, that's what, I look back at all the conversations I had with Bob, and it just really,
yeah,
makes me want to blow up.
it does. And,
Yeah.
he was the one everybody thought you could trust. I mean, he had some.
I did.
Yeah, y'all, that's how sociopathic this guy is. I'm telling you, and me too. He had me snowed. I didn't want to hate him. I I mean, it was your daughter's granddad. But I saw the real Bob Govar when me and my husband split. Now, you know what happened, Linda and so Amy, but I don't tell that part because me and my ex are on good terms and we have a daughter and things have to be nice. And it needs to, yeah. But I learned who Bob Govar really was and just how powerful he really was when all that happened. And evil, yes. And yes, lie, evil. And I mean, I'm talking evil. I'm talking like vendetta. And he was the one you would, when he died, the U.S. Attorney's Office called me. This was, because I reached out to you, Linda, a few weeks after he died. Actually, I reached out to Doc Washburn to reach out to you. And then, remember, he kind of got, because I was waiting until he died. I was not going to do it because he could still try to take my daughter from me as long as he was still alive, because that's what he tried to do for no reason. And he almost did it for DHS. That's a whole other story. But that was my whole thing of keeping quiet. So I know what it's like to be, for them to have something over you. But then when he died, I was like, you know, I didn't know I'd be doing this eventually. But I mean, I just thought, you know, I would befriend you because I wanted to see justice for you. And I knew after I experienced what I did with him that everything I ever thought on the Boys on the Truck, like I had to have been right, like I, you know, but I didn't want to be. But anyway, yeah, and then reached out to you, and then it was, I guess, well, the United States Patriot Commission came along during all that time too, or right around then, and then that's how I ended up doing this, and that's kind of.
What he did was absolutely right on par and on the level of what Dan Harmon did.
Yes, tell him what Dan Harmon did. Yeah. Remember, and didn't he use you to get elected? So Dan Harmon's the one. Tell them who he was. Now, when the boys were murdered, he was a private attorney, correct?
Okay. He had been a former prosecutor, and for whatever reason, which seems to be unknown even today, he quit, went to California for an extended period of time, and nobody really knew what he did. They didn't know what he did, or who he did.
Right.
And so then he came back, and when Kevin and Don were killed, I guess still Kelly Hart.
And he the one that got appointed as special prosecutor or something.
Yes, he was appointed special prosecutor by Judge Coe, and now I never knew this and still don't know if it's true.
Oh no, she must have hit. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. I think Linda, she has problems with electronics. I don't know if she's talking on her phone or I know she.
I love Linda. I've loved Linda. I hate it. She's gone. What a remarkable woman. Like my icon, my hero.
Funny, y'all. She's funny. She's a funny lady. She's a neat lady.
Neat lady.
Great sense of humor. Let's call her again. I guarantee you she. Her phone died. I hope hers didn't die. Good parts. Let me try one more time, and then if I don't get her, I'll call her daughter's phone, see if her daughter's there with her. She'll use hers. I bet Linda's phone died. She knows. Right now, she's going, oh my God, I can just see her. She's always hitting the wrong emojis, and you know, she doesn't. And doesn't know how to say this iPad. Because you'll say something, she'll give like a thumbs down, and I'm like, oh, what? And then she's like, I meant thumbs up. Hold on, let me call Alicia. If Alicia's not there with her, then we're going to be out of luck unless we can get Linda to answer her phone. I'll try a time or two.
We eventually get her back. It takes a minute.
Let me try Linda's one more time. I guarantee you her phone went dead. Otherwise, she'd have called back. I guarantee she's trying to run around.
You
and
have
get
to wait until you get enough juice.
Truths, yeah. So we may just have to, yeah, that had to go happen. Her phone died. I'll just leave her a voicemail, and then we'll just wait for her to call back.
Has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 5013.
Oh, can't do that.
Can't do that.
Docs are on our show.
I'm glad you done. Okay, y'all. So, Linda Ives, we think, let her phone go dead. She's got a thumbs up for something. What was that? Oh, that was at 12:04. I'm just going to message her real quick, and then we'll talk. We've got plenty we can talk about, finish up, and then she calls back. And I bet you we can get her scheduled again for next week. That's not going to be an issue unless she's got like a doctor's appointment or something like that. I mean, I didn't even contact her until yesterday evening about interviewing her today because we've been wanting to do it. We kept it having our head. We go down there, which I do want to do that in person. But I'm thinking, who knows when we can get down there? So shoot, we might as well. I thought this will be a good time. We've gone all this time and nobody's heard from her except for the first one I did, which was just before you. And so, and then I remember when I finally shared it, like back in June or July, like my phone was blowing up. Was like everybody hearing her, just hearing from her, hearing her voice and
some
her
humanity
story.
to it.
It did. It put at least a voice to the name, but it put a human element to it that this person does exist. Linda Ives does exist. This is what Linda Ives has been there. And I mean, I had people just saying that it was riveting. They were using those kinds of words. Our friend Helene, she shared it with her. I thought that one got a lot of listens. That one wasn't on video. It was just, and it's still on SoundCloud, by the way. What you will do is, it's all of our podcasts are under USPC. So you type in, we'll pull them all out. You're going to see, and I don't know why they keep them not in order for some reason, but this is podcast 17. So, if you haven't seen the ones prior to this, obviously they're just, 1654, start 1 through 16. The last one that's on there is 16, and today's will be 17. But what it is they're all numbered, and it'll be, as of today, 1 through 17 once I get this on there. But there's also 3 more podcasts on there. So, as of last week, we had 16 podcasts on there. There's 3 additional ones, which actually there's 19 on there. And the reason being is because there were 3 podcasts done with the United States Patriot Commission prior to me and Amy Jo starting our first Amy Jo and Shelly Jo podcast in February. So when you see like Boys on the Tracks, United States Patriot Commission, Boys on the Tracks, podcast 1, Shelly, Amy, that was our very first 1 through, up until this is number 17 today. But there was 3 done prior, the first one being, and I don't know, I know the one I did with Linda is number 3. So you're going to have 2 SoundCloud podcasts on SoundCloud under USPC that have the number 3 on it. But it's not the one of just me and Linda interviewing her that really everyone should go back and listen to. That one I think is labeled Shelly and Linda Interview, Podcast 3, whatever. Then the 2 prior to that, Doc Washburn. Oh no, she's been talking to herself this whole time. I'm sorry, I just
she didn't know her phone was.
I'll call you back. It was her phone just dropped the call. It's just realized I'm talking to myself. Apparently my phone. She's been talking to herself for a long time. Anyway, so, and then there's one of Doc Washburn, the radio host from Little Rock. He did the very first one, and then Sambo did the second one with her, and I did the third one. And the third one, people loved, and they loved the one that Sambo did. I mean, that was a good one. They did good in the one with dog. I mean, those three are really essential to hear. Let's call her back. Bless her heart. Don't you hate that?
I've done that in the car before. Got to a
Your
dead
call
spot.
has been forwarded to an automated voicemail.
All right, let me just message her until I try to call back. Just try.
I'd be talking to somebody, go through a dead zone, drop the call, and I'm like, how long, what was the last thing you heard me say? I don't know.
Yeah, Lord, Sharon Ellis. I was on my way to get my Joe, or take my Joe. I don't remember. Anyways, I hit a dead spot. It was like 15 minutes, but Sharon, I mean, she gets talking. I just love Sharon. Love my Sharon Ellis from Florida. She gets to talking, man. Well, she's like me, and you know, I'm probably the worst between two of us, but you know, I'm just, and she don't take a breath, and I mean, my call dropped, and I figured she'd figure it out within a minute or two. It was like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes went by, and
Got played.
I called her back. That's what it was once I finally got service, and she goes, she just picks up and said, nothing was said. I call and she picks up and goes, oh my God, I been talking for that 20 minutes to nobody? And I was like, yeah, you're going to have to start over. I said, Sharon, I figured you'd figure it out. Well, you know, I figured it'd take you at least 4 or 5 minutes. You know,
When you didn't say anything back.
right? Because I always try to do it. Yeah, you know. So she should have known because we've talked on the phone several times. Anyways, we're trying to help. We're gonna try to do our best to help Sharon too. Man, she's got a mess of a case with her, the murder of her mother, and the murder of her. Was this her sister, her younger? It's bad stuff. Bad, and she's got her hands full, and it's bad. Yeah, it's all about today. And you know what? I thought of a contact. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna reach out to see if this person knew Joan Ellis, because Joan Ellis her mother was a nursing director in Arkansas, big shot nursing director. We believe that she knew too much about something, and I'll leave it at that. But anyways, yeah, her mom was murdered. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And Sharon's fighting this entire
She's
state.
got so much documentation.
She's fighting Sadler. She's fighting I mean, she's good too, man. She's good. But not to get off topic. So, I just told her to call me back. So we'll see if she does. I don't know. She may have thought, well, it can't be dead because she's talking to me. Well, let's just talk about, because we're in the process of talking to her about then. And like I said, if we don't get her back today, even if we do, we'll still try to get her again next week. And if not the next, but I feel like we can get her next week. It's not any big deal to get her. You know, I booked this last night with her, so I mean, unless she's got something going on, but we will get her back. What were we talking about? We were talking about Campbell's trial, Bob, you know, playing both sides of the fence. Harmon, she was talking about Harmon. Dan Harmon, we haven't honed in on him a lot, but he's the one that she was getting ready to tell y'all, like what Bob did. Harmon befriended her, came into her living room of her home. So, I mean, snowed her and Mr. Ives, Larry Ives, Kevin's dad, Linda's husband. And he brought with him, I don't know if it was Steve. I don't want to talk about it. He brought one of the other guys that's on the, there were some of them even investigators that made on the Clinton body count when this was all said, and we hadn't even gotten to that yet. But anyway, he brought another guy with him that I think he was with either Benton Police or Sling County Sheriffs, but the friend of Linda and Larry, her hero. I mean, Dan Harmon was Linda's hero. He told her he was going to find the killers. He was going to get justice for her. I mean, this, that, and the other. And then when he did that, he got appointed special prosecutor for the case. Well, when he was doing that, and he had Linda Ives behind him, of course, the whole county was behind him because everybody in the county supported Linda Ives, the citizens, meaning, even quietly they did. But Dan decided he was going to run for county prosecutor, and he got Linda Ives to campaign for him at the tracks where the boys were killed. They did a big whole live thing, I think it was on Channel 7, where Linda's standing behind him, you know, we want him as the county judge, because she'd already been screwed. I mean, you did hear her mention Judge Arnold. So see, Cole and Arnold, that's why I kept getting it, because they're both Sling County, and I knew Arnold was also in with the Boys on the Tracks case too, so they both are. But I do think I got them mixed up insofar as what we're talking about, you know, last week. But anyway, or a week before. But so Harmon gets elected, and then that's when the whole story, which we've not gotten to yet, where Linda is realized that she's been used after he gets elected, and that's when Enter Jane Duffy. She's given the task force. Her and Harmon go at it. I mean, Harmon, y'all, bad guy. In fact, well, and then my father-in-law was, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, this part I wasn't ready to discuss today. I was going to let Linda discuss this part because she knows it so well. So I know I sound like a little sketchy, so bear with me, because I mean, I know enough to kind of get you through. I'm just trying to help get y'all through. We're not hanging on what she was trying to talk about, and then we'll get with her today or next week on the rest of the stuff we want to talk about. But anyway, so then where was I? Bob was getting them back. Then Bob comes in the. Oh, okay. Hi, Linda. You talked for a long time. We were convinced your phone went dead.
No, I was talking.
Oh, no. Wasted air. And here I am. I'm trying to get us through, because you know more about, of course, the Dan Harmon thing. So I was trying to get us through it on the podcast, so I wasn't doing too great. I'm glad you saved me here. I was like, well, here's what she was. Yeah. Well. No, we told them that we were laughing that you have your little iPad. Like, we'll send you something and you'll give a thumbs down, and we'll be like, oh, and then he'll be like, oh no, and he'll send back a big smiley face. I didn't mean to put the thumbs, because the iPad or whatever he used. And I was trying to get the story. I was trying to take it from where you left off, where, basically Dan Harmon came in, he befriended you. Then he was. Well, I don't think I did, but I got us to the part where basically they got the gist of it. He betrayed the hell out of you once you got him elected to county prosecutor, correct?
Right, that's correct.
And what happened as soon as he got elected and you helped him get elected? Did he just turn on you?
Well, he was working me the whole time. I just have nothing to know it.
Right, we knew. Yeah, that's what I meant. To make it clear to everybody listening, he came in to be one of those. I'm kind of trying to help you.
He inserted himself into your life.
He was not a good guy. Yeah. This wasn't just he got what he needed and he was being selfish. There was a lot more to it. He was sent in by the Clintons.
Well, the thing of it is, people tried to tell me. People tried to tell me what was going on with him and what a sleuth he was, but I kept going back to the idea that he helped us when nobody else would.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept thinking he would do that. He would befriend us like that. And,
that's the point.
Doing something like that. So, I just sort of, you can make yourself believe anything you want to.
You can. Yeah.
And he was good. And I will tell you, he reminds me, in retrospect, of Bob Govar now.
Yes.
Bob Govar did the same thing. He was playing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think there was anybody as good as Harmon was, but I think Bob was right up there with
I have a witness that is, and me and her got to talk, and we still have not been able to connect, but we did message quite a bit. But I'm talking devastated when she found out Bob was bad. She thought he was the only one because she was a witness concerning your son's case. It was during all the Dan Harmon, Charlene Wilson, everybody's dying, that kind of thing. And this girl's reached out and wants to talk to me, but she thought he hung the moon and saved her. Yeah.
Well, they all did. And then here's the thing, too, Amy, that's really so sad, is, what he did to me was pretty good, but what he did to those witnesses, Dan Harmon knew who had testified to what before they got back to Saline County. Now, I don't know who the leaker was, I don't know, but certainly there are very few people who were privy to what was testified to in that grand jury. That the prosecutor was one of them.
Yeah. That's what I want everybody to know about. The big deal was the witnesses were revealed.
They were
grand jury testimony is supposed to be sealed.
Yeah.
And that may be why some of them ended up dead. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But, that's
possible.
That's exactly what he did.
Very plausible. Yeah.
He could have been prosecuted for that.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. And I mean, witnesses were killed as a result of it. I'll never be convinced that it wasn't anything other than that. I mean,
it just is. I mean, even as inexperienced and ignorant as I am, as just a citizen, I would never, ever reveal any of my witnesses or anything. Ever.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course not.
You would think he would have some modicum of professional decorum in that regard.
And I was told, I don't know, is this what happened, that the witnesses' names and all that and Bob's memos got slid under Dan Harmon's door or something? That's how he got a hold of it, and he leaked.
I don't know how he got it.
That's what I was told. Right. I honestly think my father-in-law had it all, because what was leaked was the witnesses and all of Bob's memos. Remember? It was like, nobody's supposed to have this stuff. And somehow it got from the federal U.S. Attorney's Office in Little Rock, and the TCBY Tower was the TCBY Tower at that time, and it got all the way into Saline County under Dan Harmon. What I've been told by two people, it was put under his door for him for the taking. But regardless,
or he may have even bought it.
He could have paid for it too. Yeah.
He could have. That's his style.
Yeah. And Bob, he just acted like he didn't have a clue how Dan Harmon got his memos. Well, they were his memos.
That's the thing, though. They're all.
Of course he knew.
They're all covering for each other. So,
yeah.
If they're all in on it, on the gig, then they're not going to tattletale on each other.
Yeah.
No.
So,
I think Bob was behind it. I don't know who he gave it to or how he delivered it, but it got done.
100%. Because those are his memos. It never happened again in his career.
No. He wrote it, and he's, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't matter. The buck stops there.
Exactly. And I know he was there for I don't know how many decades, and that's the only time that ever happened. He didn't let other stuff leak out, and obviously he was real good at keeping secrets. So he wanted that. That was his baby. That was his case. Those were his. The only other person access would have been Chuck Paula Casey and then Chuck Banks. I don't remember who was there first. Wasn't Paula over him?
Chuck Banks was it.
Yeah.
In fact, I went into detail about Chuck Banks and Harmon delivering the videotape and how he came to have that videotape when we were off air.
Yeah, that was when Chuck Banks did that. I talked about this on the podcast where he just came out just abruptly one day out of nowhere and said, the case is over, it's closed. And all had to do because Harmon set him up with a hooker and got video of him, and he was going to tell his wife if he didn't shut the case. Because he was going after Harmon. Harmon was getting ready.
Linda's hard to understand.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
It all changed when, and I went with Dan when he took that videotape up there. I was thinking enough to, I mean, I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, you were with Dan when the
Yeah,
video?
I was with Dan.
I didn't know you were with him when he. Oh my gosh.
He called me and he said, "Would you go to the federal courthouse with me?" And I was already on to him. By then, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I didn't want him to know anything was up.
Right.
I wanted to play. I was going to play him
for the full. Yeah.
And so I said, "Yeah, I'll go with you." But of course, that entailed me going and picking him up because he never had a car. So I went and got him, and his daughter Tammy was going. She was supposed to testify. And you know, there was never anybody up there. You know, outside the grand jury room when the grand jury was going on. Never acted. And when we got there, and the elevator doors opened. There was a bazillion TV cameras and newspaper journalists, and all standing there, right in the doorway as the elevator doorway opened. And I mean, they were just right there in your face and in your space. And I was so stunned. I was just like standing there like a dummy thinking, what the hell happened?
Right.
And to find out, Harmon had notified him to come up there that he would be coming up there with Tammy to testify. And he had me go, figured out later on, because he wanted people to see that I still supported him, and I didn't believe any of that.
Oh my!
And so I was just standing there looking stupid, and Jean Duffy, that's the first time I ever laid eyes on Jean Duffy in person. She was leaning up against the wall. She'd been called to testify. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and it was like, what are you doing?
What the hell is going on here? What just happened?
She thought, holy shit, that's crazy.
That's wild.
So, but anyway, Harmon wanted me to go show people in the public that I still supported him, and to kind of smooth over his taking this video tape. He had a little sack in it with about, you know, signs that would have been if it's in a videotape. But at the time, I didn't know what it was or what he was doing. But he went into Banks' office.
Yeah.
And he was escorted out by security.
Is that where they had something on Banks and he just said it's over?
Yeah, remember I was just saying the races.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
The whole discussion's over.
Got into big something in the badge up there, and he'd been thrown out by security. And so then we laughed. And later on, when I talked to Bob, at that point in time, I didn't even like Bob and wasn't talking to him. But then later on, when I figured everything out, I went up there and talked to him. And we started talking regularly after that. But anyway, Bob told me that, you know, I said something that I had heard. Harmon took a videotape, you know, from the Sling County Memorial scandal up there that day.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, and he did. So Bob confirmed it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it was a video of Banks with a hooker. Yeah.
Yeah. When he went in, and probably drugs, I don't know, but whatever they had him for. Also, when Harmon went in, he was looking at several felonies, several felonies. And then when it came out, they had been reduced to misdemeanor tax.
Right.
Taxes.
And you mentioned the Saline County Memorial scandal. Of course, we won't even touch that one today, and I haven't even gotten into that one yet. But that's a big deal.
It's a whole different one.
Tell just
the whole thing itself. I mean, it is why everything that's happened in our case has happened.
Because it's Saline Memorial.
Because of the neighborhood people. They set up a party house like normal.
Mhm.
And they had the hospital paid for all these lavish parties with hookers, underage girls, drugs, and everything up there like normal. And then they had recording equipment set up all over the house, and then have all, public officials and members there.
Sex acts or
I was told not all that long ago that the third floor was not being used at that time, but they were also using the third floor of the hospital. They would have thousands and thousands and thousands.
we're talking, yes, people, let me make that clear. We are talking about a hospital in Arkansas that still existed then, the Saline County Memorial Hospital. You want to talk about a Hollywood movie, just that right there. Go ahead, what you were saying. So
They would buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of seafood from all over the world for these parties. I'm not talking about a little party.
Thank you,
I'm talking
Tim.
about
Thank you.
lavish.
I didn't even know. See, I had got to dig into this hospital because that was a scandal, but I
Oh
don't.
my gosh, it's the biggest thing.
Probably, man. I mean, I'm gonna dig into that soon because I guarantee you that's gonna put a bunch of pieces together for us. But that's.
And it's local.
I wonder how many other politicians and people are on there.
Who was paying for the seafood to be flown?
A hospital. They were using hospital money, taxpayer money.
And we're talking about Clinton and
That's where I
Yeah.
was Rivendell.
I had to know from
Clinton came down on me and
the son of the guy
I
that
never spoke
was the administrator of the hospital,
Uh-huh.
and he turned out
Listen,
to be made the main villain. His son wrote notes to a friend of his, which I have,
Uh-huh.
and he talks about Bill Clinton and Roger Clinton being there. And he came home that night to the lake house, which is where the blacks live. His name was D.S. Black, and his wife's name was Linda Black. And that's just two of them.
Mm.
And when he came home, there was a big party going on, and his daddy gave him some money, him and a friend, took in a hotel room. And Bill Clinton, Roger Clinton were there that night.
Unbelievable stuff. True. It's stranger than fiction. Yeah. I mean, this is a hospital.
Listen, I've got the sheets of what they did one on.
Are you putting that on your website? Is that on?
I will at some point. I haven't yet.
I want it.
Do a whole feature on it, and I just haven't had time.
I might have to come to your house. I mean, I want to see that.
And people don't know this. In fact, I didn't know it until sometime, maybe last year. I was talking to this guy that somebody I know knows, and they went there with me, and we were talking to him about it. He's the one that told me they were using the third floor of the hospital, too. But he also says that they almost killed D.S. Black, that they tied him or put a chain on him to the back end of the bumper of the truck and drug him. So he was almost dead.
And who is this?
D.S. Black. He is dead now, but he died of natural cause.
Who was he?
He was the administrator of the hospital.
Oh, God, dang.
And see, this was in the controller was all tied into it.
The comptroller?
The controller, yeah. What was his name? I can't think of his name. I'd have to look again. Also, another guy that was a buyer, his name was Ralph. And he was a teacher at school. He just worked part-time at the hospital. And we knew him. We had socialized with him. Talking about being shocked. Coach Ralph.
Wow.
And I called him not too long ago and talked to him. He's living, I think it's out of state or just out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, somewhere not here now. And asked him if he'd sit down and talk to me. He said he didn't know anything but what I already did.
Wow.
In other words, no, I would talk to you.
Well, it's funny you say the talk about Slim Memorial, and this is a whole nother podcast I'm trying to get to eventually for, you remember Johnny Lawhorn? That was, okay. He had found it was after the tornadoes came through and blew that trunk open. He had that body shop and it was a vehicle towed there or whatever, and he found all these checks made out to Bill Clinton on the Whitewater scandal from Madison Guarantee. And he went on the news, Channel 7, saying, look what, well, he was dead like a week or two later. Anyways, he was in what they say was, one car accident. I found out there was a passenger with him, and I have the person, I've known this person, not well, but just acquaintances for several years, had no idea any of this. And once I started doing all this stuff, she reached out. But Johnny Longhorn had a passenger with him, and his name was Arlen Nugent. Okay, and in like it's like Ted Nugent, N-U-G.
Okay.
Yeah, Arlen, A-R-L-A-N. So this guy, and there's witnesses. She told me that what the witnesses said happened, that there were some guys in a blacked out car with blacked out windows. I wonder who those could have been. I know we won't say, but I'm sure everybody knows who we're thinking. But when the people pulled up that were behind them, because they were like, I think they were together or whatever in separate cars, and they weren't speeding or nothing. I mean, like they said that there was no reason for them to have this accident. And the people jumped out, and the girl said that they rolled the window down and said, halfway down, and said, he's dead, because they didn't know there was even another guy in the vehicle. Okay. He said, he's dead, and they drove off. Well, it was Johnny Longhorn was dead. Arlen was not dead. So guess what? They get him, and they had to get him to none other than, guess what? It took him, Saline Memorial Hospital, put him under an assumed name, a completely different name, because all of a sudden the news people were caught, like it was getting out that because these people were getting a hold of his wife at the time. Well, his wife at the time is the one that is the one that's reached out to me. And he ends up getting paralyzed completely for, ever. It was a horrible time, and went through months, and I think he was in the hospital for like 6 months, and therapy and all this. He was gunned down and murdered in his bedroom in Christmas morning of 2000, and then he's made it on the Clinton body count. Now, the only reason he didn't then is because he didn't die then, but he wasn't even supposed to be in the daggone car. They weren't prepared for that part. And anyways, I don't know why he was allowed to live later. Maybe because they thought he wouldn't be a threat after he was in such bad shape. But something happened between then and 2016, because he had two men and I believe a girl. I don't want to say, we'll just say two men for now, but there was a girl somehow involved. But anyways, he's dead asleep, and then there was a guy staying with him on the couch. Arlen was asleep in bed, and the guy was, I think, on the couch. They bust him with guns and just shoot him up. They go back there and just, shoot Arlen. I don't even know how many times, dead in his sleep. I mean, it was a brutal murder with guns. Okay, and turns out, and then when they left, they take the girl supposedly. I think the girl may have been in on it. I think I've got to look into it more, but it supposedly threw her off the I-30 bridge or the I-40 or 40 bridge into the river, but she survived or something. But that was part of the story. But it turned out, or the one that got convicted, this is very interesting. So if people that are listening, there's a famous restaurant in Arkansas called Cottom's, and it started out in Scott, Arkansas, and now they have one in Little Rock. I don't know. They still have one in Scott. It was Bill Clinton's favorite place to eat, that and Doe's. Remember, Linda? Okay. So the guy Cottom that owns Cottom's, it was his, the guy that worked for him is the one that got convicted of murdering Arlen back from 2016. And I thought that was a very interesting connection. And the guy that did it, there's more stuff that I can't talk about right now because I won't plan on talking about it, and I don't have my notes in front of me. But there was more things that connected it to other things that are very suspicious. They all do. So Arlen Nugent, as of 2016, Christmas morning, which I think was a statement. Yeah, made on the Clinton body count. And of course, my friend, her kids are devastated. They lost their dad forever, on Christmas morning. And see, I had seen on Facebook where her ex-husband was murdered, the father of her children. And I thought, my God, what? But I was see, that was the year that Josh and I split. So I was just like not even on the right. Like it was all I could do just keep up with myself and my Joe. Yeah. So I never cried, and but I remembered seeing it, and I thought, Jesus. I mean, this because they were still looking for the people that did it, and I mean, he was gunned down. I mean, it was like you could tell it was a big bloody like massacre. And anyways, she reached out, I guess, about 4 months ago, and we've talked, and I'm trying to get some documents from her and stuff, and I'm gonna actually, I think, have her on at some point soon. We're trying to get to that. But then see, Linda Collins got murdered, and that got us all out of whack, on our podcast. So we've just been kind of like fly by the seat of our pants, and then we've had weeks where we haven't been able to podcast, so we haven't been able to keep up. But anyway, I didn't know if you knew about that, Linda.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't know about that.
And
I did know about Johnny Lala.
Yeah, I knew you'd know about him, but I didn't know if you know that Arlen was actually in the car with him that night. Yep. And because talking about Sling Memorial Hospital, that triggered me like, oh yeah, that's where she said he went. And I thought, now I remember when she told me that, I was like, I remember Linda telling me about a big scandal there, and I thought, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy was, we're talking trauma. Like, why wouldn't they take him to St. UAMF? Like, Sling County Memorial is not where you go for this guy's image. Right. But that's where they took him. Exactly. There was a reason they took him there, and they put him immediately under an assumed name. He was not under his real name. So the cover up on that began, of course, immediately. But
they lied to me with the mortgage. And I always used to say, and I still don't know, what kind of state did Sling Memorial have it on it?
Right. That's what where are they getting that money? Yeah. What made them, what was the motivation for them to want to buy all that seafood and spend all that money? Like, where's their money coming? Like, what were they getting in return?
Well, they were getting
their blackmail material.
Blackmail, but they're a hospital. Like, why? I guess I'm missing the boat on this one.
Just because you're in healthcare doesn't mean you're on the up and up.
That's what's Rivendell.
Wait, what?
Rivendell,
Oh, yeah.
And when Rivendell came to Sling County, there's a lot of money that changed hands, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of under the table stuff that went on to get them located here.
Do you think that at any point they may have been, maybe this Medicaid, scam that's been going on?
Yeah,
even back then, maybe, defrauding the Medicare system of money, kickbacks and things like that?
I mean, they have been at some point. At the time, it was just a matter of buying the Rivendell officials, bribing them into coming to Sling County. They were looking at several locations in Sling County. There's big money in Rivendell.
Oh.
So they want Sling County officials wanted them here, and they were willing to do anything to get them here.
To get Rivendell there.
Yes.
Wow. That's something else for us to look at. I'm very interested.
Is Rivendell,
psychiatric ward?
No, is it for adults or children?
Both.
Started out really good.
Well, look. Now, how long ago is this? Yep, pardon me. I'm not from here, so this is all new stuff.
I have to look at each of us back in the 90s.
They're back in the 90s. Rivendell, okay, remember when on the Dave Ellswick show when I was saying about the Dorcas that was there, the Dorcas house, and I was saying I was trying to promote them, and I had met someone from Dorcas, and I revealed that I had ended up in Rivendell after me and my Joshua split and all that, and after everything Bob had put me through, I finally won my child back, even though I should have never not. you know, I mean, I never lost her, but he was trying to take her from me. But once I finally beat him in court, I had an absolute nervous breakdown. I'm talking nervous breakdown, and I was ambulanced all the way to Rivendell, which now I'm wondering why they sent. Well, I know I was pretty out. I mean, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. I mean, I had been through so much and everything I've been through, and then the pressures of him trying to take my child. And Rivendell's in sleep, so that really takes.
Is Rivendell still there?
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Well, if you think about it, there's money to be made. Okay, this is maybe.
Yeah.
Bear with me here. How many parents are made to believe that their children have ADHD?
Yeah.
A gazillion.
Okay, that is a mental health issue.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got all these issues with DHS, CPS.
Mm-hmm. And the child
bullying parents because they don't agree with their diagnosis of ADHD. So you said there's money to be made in mental health. We get as many kids as we can get.
Yeah.
Diagnosed with ADHD, then that's a diagnosed official mental health disorder. Mm-hmm. They may need to be hospitalized, in which case they may need to, if that's the only game in town.
Yeah, I can confirm for you, Rivendell, because I've been there. In fact, even a year later, when I still wasn't better, I mean, I was just like, the only reason I was even staying alive was for my daughter. I mean, I just didn't know what else to do. That's the hell I went through. I went back on my own, but just to get away from my environment. So I've been there twice, and one time I was the crazy lady with nervous breakdown. The second time I was the normal one. But even when I had my crazy lady breakdown, I was, other people saying, man, these people make me look sane. But they have adults and children, okay? I know that for a fact. And they have a children's wing, and it's completely separate from the adults wing. Like the children and adults cannot. So I don't know anything that would go on over there other than stuff I would hear. And I did hear some strange. I'm going to think on that because I did hear some things when I was there to raise my eyebrow. But they do have the adult wing too, and it's not a fun place to be. I can assure you.
Think about preferred family health care. That was mental health too, was it not?
Yeah, and Linda, we had discussed in one of our podcasts about Kirk Lane, that new facility in Little Rock. The natural way, it's a guy that used to work for was a big shot at a bank, and somehow, well, not really a big, he wasn't like the president or anything. I mean, he was a banker, but he got out of that and got into the mental health field, and
Well, the money there.
Yeah, and Kirk Lane used his office. This is another no-no, many no-nos of Kirk Lane's. But we're told, he's alleged to have used his office, as the power of his office as the drug czar, to help get this guy the grant in order to finance this facility. And if you get on there, I mean, it's like a Hollywood. I mean, this thing is plush. And it's not.
Thank you.
It's like a mental health facility. You see the stores.
Yeah, it is. Well, in fact, I don't know if I ever told you this. I got on good word that Asa Hutchinson's son, after he got that third DWI recently, guess where they put him? In this big, nice, new mental health facility in Little Rock where Kirk Lane helped the guy. Yes, and this is where, in the drug Subutex, where we were talking about that, where I had the mental health professional tell me at that facility, I'm telling you about, Linda, that new one that Kirk Lane was involved in helping with, they are putting out giving a drug to patients there called Subutex, and Subutex is a drug that is prescribed for opioid addicts. Now, keep in mind, Subutex is an opioid also, which is crazy, but that's what they dispense it for, as to fight opioids. So people that come in with opioid addictions, they get Subutex to fight their opioid addiction. Kind of the same thing as methadone and meth, heroin and meth. Yeah. But here's the kicker. This guy got person after his patients after patients who had been at this facility, and they just opened like last June, I think it was. They haven't not been open long, like a year ago in June or July. And these people had alcoholism, depression, anorexia. I mean, they had no opioid addiction. They might have been meth addicts or whatever. They were not on opioids. Guess what? They were given Subutex too in that facility. They were everybody there got Subutex no matter what, even if you weren't an opioid addict. And Subutex is addictive.
It's an opioid.
A ton of money.
It's pharma, baby. Everything's connected, guys. Everything.
Rivendell, it's for years, it may or may not get taken down, I don't know. But the judicial system's where they spend all the huge gun problems.
Yeah. Family court sends them over there? Is that where they send them? Rivendell?
And I assume it still is. I don't know.
It probably still is.
Yeah, but that's where they send them all back here.
Wow.
Kids that had big drug problems that were sent there. And one was sent there, I know of, that was sent this way to that case. But, I mean, you know, Rivendell just stuck her head. And Dick Elmendorf, who was the chief deputy at Saline, Saline County Sheriff's Office, and he was bagged in charge of our case for a while. His wife was a big administrator. I can't remember what her title was now. Maybe the administrator or something. I don't know. Yeah, but his wife was Uncle Rivendell.
Wow.
It's all
wow. All of the I'm so glad we talked today. Who would have ever thought that we would have got off on this topic with Linda? This is interesting. Wow.
And that's all coming from all the money being spent to grease palms to try to get Rivendell to come up to Shelly.
And then, as Amy mentioned, Jeremy Hedges.
I even have a document that talks about the money that changed hands at the table over it. I can't remember what it is and where it is, but I've got it.
I want. I'm so jealous. I want.
Let's see what I can find out about it. I've got a book on Floyd Memorial, and Jean's got it in Houston right now because we've been trying to work something up on it.
Oh, was there a book written on Floyd Memorial?
I've got a 3-ring binder stuff about it.
Oh, wow. I thought there was like an actual, like,
the great big book of everything.
You have a book. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, everybody's going to be dying to see that. We're going to dig into that because that's going to help us a lot.
I get it back, I'll
Thank you. Yes. Well, let's see. And real quick, and we'll wrap it, and then we definitely want to interview you again soon, and maybe even next Tuesday. You've done well. You have not been boring. Kirk Lane, let's talk about him for a minute.
Oh my!
How bad can you not stand him?
Oh.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I would have a party. So I can say. I want him to fall so bad.
So bad.
He needs to fall.
He does.
He's
terrorized your county, and he's
he's
he
as bad as they can.
He is. And what were the stories you'd tell me about that you'd hear around town? Because y'all got to understand, Linda's also not just Kevin Ives' mom, mother of a murdered son. She's also a citizen of Saline County. Like, she's a local. So you know all the local stuff that goes on, just like any other county. And Kirk Lane. I know, you got so much. I remember when I met with you that day, I was like, oh my God, all the stories. But I remember what was like, literally, he terrorized everybody, him and Campbell.
He terrorized GCN. He worked GCN back. And the way I got interested in Kirk Lane, way before I really knew anything much about him, was that my niece lived in East End. And she called me one day and she said, Linda, there's a guy here, a drug dealer named Troy Warner. And Troy Warner and him was been speed that he can sell anything you want in Swain County, and they won't bother him except for white powder, with cupcakes.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the first time I'd heard Troy Warner's name.
Uh-huh.
And so I was immediately interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing I know, there's this big bus of Troy Warner. And my niece called me again and she said, Linda, somebody tipped him off. She said they busted him. And she said it's just because they were trying to put him out of business.
Right.
And he had a case of boozies. He had all kinds of exotic drugs. He had all kinds of stuff. But he got rid of it before the bus. And Kirk Wayne and Jay Campbell were part of the bus. DEA and Pulaski County. All of them.
Kirk Wayne was a part of a bus over in West Memphis a few weeks back, wasn't he?
He was?
I thought they had a big bust over there in West Memphis, big drug bust.
Yeah. Well, this was back in the what?
I mean, if he's the drug czar, he probably be.
This was back, early 90s.
Okay.
And the interesting thing, the way I got hooked up with David Lewis, he was my attorney for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and he represented Troy Warner.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of trails lead back to Troy Warner.
Yeah.
And just the interesting thing about Troy, probably the most interesting, is that his his mom, whose name was Joy Warner,
Mm-hmm.
was the living girlfriend of Jack Holt, who was a Supreme Court judge. You know, it just never ends.
It just never. It gets crazy. Like.
And Troy Warner was a witness in front of our grand jury. And it's anything too interesting, I don't know. But anyway, there was a newspaper article the day he testified that somebody testified who the killers were. And of course, you know, I started trying to track it all down and ended up at David Lewis' door and denied everything. I don't know what all. Just David Lewis is frustrating too. Anyway, I think he's about dead now, so he's not working on the FOIA case anymore. Thomas the Murders is now my attorney for that.
Mm-hmm.
They took it over from David. Thomas is an interesting character too. She was David Hale's attorney in Whitewater. She's got all of these clout connections in D.C. That she's anyway, just, you know, Swain County is such a den of dirt.
Yeah, and Kirk Wayne helped to create that.
And Kirk Wayne, during those times, and during the Troy Warner case, what you originally asked about, although I don't think you knew what it was about, all of the witnesses in the Troy Warner case were threatened, beat up, had drugs planted, something to that effect, by Kirk Wayne and Jack Campbell.
Wow.
They made it illegal, terrorized by them. And they all signed an affidavit, which I have copies of. And even an affidavit by Richard Garrett.
And Richard Garrett was
he was deputy prosecutor in Harmon's right hand man.
Goes an affidavit by him. Okay, go ahead.
Got an affidavit by him that said he wasn't surprised and all of the allegations about drugs being planted.
Richard Garrett, who had a meth lab in the basement.
That may not mean much today, but back then it did.
It does mean a lot today, though, because it just, yeah.
But this was police itself, now we know, but
Yeah.
At the time, he was a respected public official.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they, you know, they either get bought off, scared off, you know, or they were never good from the get-go.
They planted drugs on them or beat them up, threatened them, or just go by their house.
But they did the same thing. Remember Keith McCaskill? I mean, he said, I don't know how many times, Jay Campbell and Kirk Wayne are following me. They're going to kill me.
And he was scared of them.
Terrified. So many people.
So that what they've been doing for what, since the 90s, 30 years.
Longer than that, because your boys. I mean, that was '87, and they weren't just getting started in '87. They were pretty seasoned, I think.
They were well underway.
Sure, and for them to be that young and already be working for the DEA on the side while they're just little Pulaski County deputies. In Saline County, by the way, that they had no business being in.
Were any of them okay? This is the 80s when the boys were killed.
87, yeah.
Okay. Vietnam's not too far off from here. I mean, we're talking about people that may have potentially served. And I was listening to a video the other day that said that they, all the wars they've all been started by the deep state.
Sure, yeah.
But Vietnam is where the heroin came from.
Yeah, yeah.
There were people. They were smuggling heroin back in the body bags of dead American soldiers.
Well, now, Barry Seal started out, it was in the 70s when in Linda, where he was bringing in heroin.
Right, so, I mean, how many of these people that, when cocaine was all the rage, started out smuggling heroin?
In fact, I just saw something the other day on Barry Seals where he did start out during the Vietnam War, smuggling heroin.
People that are well
things,
seasoned by 1987. When did Vietnam end? In the late 70s?
Yeah.
So we're only talking a decade later.
Yeah.
So these people were
from being there as young as they were, and just little Pulaski County deputies, they obviously had connections prior to that, I mean,
Lane had unseen jobs. Look on the website, whatever gives the links of it running. I have a resume of example that he cited in court, the defamation trial. And he never stayed at a job more than 2 or 4 months.
Wow.
1 year until he went to Benton. Benton is where he landed in Pulaski County.
Wow.
He
did not. He was a radio dispatcher at Hazen. He was something at Carlisle for 2 or 3 months. He worked at the police department in nothing capacity up until he went to Denton.
Wow.
Which is where he found his niche. I mean, he was never anything. He worked security at Walmart at one time.
Right. And then he made it all the way to police chief in Benton, and we always say, between Campbell and Lane, I always said, Lane's the more dangerous one to me because Campbell's they're both dangerous, but he's more the buffoon in the duo. He's the one with no self-control, which is why he got out of control on it. Yeah.
They just...
I have a Facebook picture of him and Kelly. He and Kelly are together again.
Oh.
And they've been married for 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they took a picture and were stupid enough to put it on Facebook and not smart enough to block me. I'm trying them all. He's got a picture of her laying on his back like a spread eagle, like the lady on the Titanic. And he says, I've been married to this lady for 24 years. I'm more in love with her now than I am. And it's just lovey-dovey and that's all that. And so I took a picture of it and I posted it.
Should have said, she was lovey-dovey with all them prisoners in the county jail.
Yeah, this is the same one. Yeah, that was screwing the inmates while he was the chief in his office.
They have teenage girls now, and that really is what kept me.
Right, the kids.
I wanted to make a big deal of it.
Yeah.
That's all girls.
I'm glad Alicia talks. Yeah, she's a more sensible one, but because me and Linda are more. We think just a lot. Like I'm even worse than Linda. I'm like throwing balls. Like I don't even want to think. Got a little better, but every now and then I'm just like, screw it.
That's a shame that those girls
do what?
People didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody knowing their history.
Right, it's like,
What is anybody going to do about it, though? All the power that they wield over everybody.
yeah, I mean, what are you going to do about it, Linda?
You'll find some drugs and plant them in your car somewhere.
Yeah, I was afraid I would use it as a weapon, like, like fun, yeah. Whenever I type Kirk Lane's name in Facebook, which is all the time, it pops up the little black where I could tag him. And probably one of these days, I did it one day, but I undid it real quick. He would definitely lie. But I mean, you know, he told.
What he's doing now.
Hey,
He works
Jay.
He works at Christian horse club.
What?
Okay, you're talking about Jay Campbell, right?
He's working. He's working where?
He's working at a boat dock, ain't he? But yeah, living in in Hot Springs on the lake. Yeah, and I've been told living in a living
in a boat dock.
Him and his wife get out of prison at the same time with nothing, absolutely nothing, and somehow now they're living at large in Hot Springs while he's working at a boat dock. This is where we're at, y'all. This is not, I mean, and I told, this is the exact same, so it was you that told me that. There was somebody else too, but I've told that same thing in previous podcasts, that this is how they're taken care of, you know?
It kind of makes you wonder who his associates are in Hot Springs.
Because I mean, Kelly, I don't know what she would be doing if anything, but neither one of them had a pot to piss in when they got out of prison.
Well, you know what? That's what she did before. All of that, what happened in Roanoke County Jail. She had sex with a 16-year-old student.
Oh,
He's still a part-time teacher. Teacher's aide, I think is the better description.
oh my.
And sex with a 16-year-old student. And she got out of that somehow, apparently.
Oh my God. And this is his wife. He loves her more today than he did.
She should be on the sex offender registry.
Well, but this is the same woman who stole her neighbor's pain medicine. And then when the neighbor called her that night in pain because she just had surgery, instead of Kelly bringing the whole bottle, she brings her two. I mean, like, really? Like, black heart, black stomach. Yeah, because when I was reading it, I remember Amy looked, she goes, wait a minute. You mean she stole her medicine after she goes to check on her after surgery just to steal her medicine, but to supposedly check on her, and then she takes her medicine, and then when the girl calls later and says, you took I need my medicine, Kelly brings her just two out of the bottle. Oh, how, bless your heart.
Church family, too. People they went to church with, they found out who had surgery, and they'd go visit them and take them a cake or a pie to see how they were. And they were
in that article, and there was two people who actually lived across the street from Bob when he lived in Roanoke, because Bob moved out there to be with Jay. You know, he wasn't even, I mean, he actually, so insane. But anyways, these people, they were mutual friends, but it was Bob's good friends, Bob and his wife were really good friends, that they stole from too, you know?
Stole from everybody they knew.
Everybody. I mean, unbelievable.
They house sat in the neighbor's house while they were on vacation. And this neighbor lady had a lot of really expensive jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Came up stolen, of course, after they had the key to their house. And so this lady, somebody she knew, or her family, somebody, located the jewelry in a pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard the story.
Yeah. And then, in fact, that may have been the people that were friends. I think that's the ones that were friends with Bob that lived across the street that she did that to with the jewelry. And then Jay, because they had the key. And then Jay said, well, my brother came to visit and made a copy of their key and went, it's like, first of all, if your brother, I mean, a kindergartner's not going to, why would he just take the key that's there? Why would he go make a copy and then go break?
He's the buffoon, remember?
Right, Jay's the buffoon, which is why I always say Kirk is like, he says to have the kind of self-discipline he's got, to have been able to stay out of prison and jail. He hasn't kept his nose clean by any imagination in the legal realm, and so far as, because he's been protected, but he's got a lot of self-discipline and control, and those are the scariest
Think
kind.
about all the sociopaths throughout history who you didn't know until they finally got caught because they had so much stuff.
Yeah, he's full-blown narcissist, level 10 narcissist, level 10 sociopath. And so is Bob Govar now. They were just two different kinds. Kirk, it's kind of obvious. He's more, but with Bob, no, suck you in, make you just fall in love with him. Think he's the greatest guy on earth.
He had a little bit, Bob Govar was a little bit higher on the totem pole.
A lot higher.
A lot more to lose if he.
But we talk about this, and we honestly think Kirk Lane's got more power than Asa does. To be honest, there's something. Do you?
He probably does.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, if you think about it, he spent most of his life in the drug world. And
he did, yeah.
So
we're talking CIA, all the alphabet agencies, and
deep state,
DEA, and FBI.
You talk about your deep state puppets. He's probably higher up on the totem pole, acting as the ace and all. They're the marionette puppets, and he's just got control of them.
Unbelievable. Well, Linda, we want to talk to you again soon.
Okay. I take physical therapy 3 days a week.
Okay. What days do you do it?
Friday.
Huh?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. Okay.
So Tuesday, Thursday is your off days.
Yeah.
Okay. If we can't get you, we do it on Tuesdays now, and then sometimes on the next. But if we can't get you next Tuesday, we definitely want to get you back the next Tuesday because there's some more things I want to go into more depth with you. This is really good. We got a lot of subjects touched on. Sling Memorial's intriguing. I'd forgotten about that one. And I'm glad we talked to you today because that's important. Well, I haven't forgotten any of it, but I have. You know what I mean?
I forgot this year since I've read it.
Yeah.
I did get my book back from
But that's good that we've got people now. Yeah, because now anybody that watches or listens, they're going to know.
Like, I know something about that.
Yeah, and now we'll probably get hit up, hopefully, somebody that knows something, that was there, the actual, was there or something. But we love you.
I'm sure there's people that work there that do a lot.
Sure, they're scared. Of course. But people are less and less fearful now to come out because I'm telling you, people. Me and Amy got people saying, "I've never said this, but you know what? Screw it. I don't care. They need to fry for this, and they'll tell those stories, and people are getting less scared. So we're hoping that's kind of changing.
We kind of hope Trump has got his pulse on his finger.
Yeah, and we do have Judicial Watch. Trump didn't remember he sued on behalf of not in Kevin and Dawn's names, but in so far as getting the FOIA request, just like you did on the whole thing. Yeah. So.
That was because of Micah.
Micah.
Fails to see whether or not anything happens with it, but
yeah,
they'll certainly have better luck than I have for sure.
Well, get it in front of the public's eye. And I know we've made we've got a long ways to go, but we've made great headway since February getting this cabin. People are talking about it all the time now, wanting to learn about it.
This is not going to be solved by Arkansas law enforcement. This is going to be solved by citizen journalists and people that finally said, we don't care anymore, we're just going to do it. Just do it.
Yeah, and we told them last week that if they're waiting on Linda Ives to die, then they got another thing coming because me and Amy.
I don't think they had long to wait.
Well, but honestly, I think don't you say that. You're going to stay alive till you see justice. We're going to get that for you. But you and I discussed that because honestly, it's just such a hard battle to do, and you've endured it. And
that's why I wanted all of my documents online.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I wanted that for so long. And finally, it's up, and we just get the links to work.
Right. because I know for a fact it would. It was doing weird stuff, and I was gonna message you, but it was really late, so I was like, so and then I forgot to tell you about
I
it.
don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put out some feelers because I know some smart people that might be able to help you with your computer issues.
Yeah.
I know one right now. I don't want to say this person's name.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he might be able to help you.
Well, I'm just talking to Jason this afternoon. That's all I do this afternoon and see what he says about it. But there's that other one.
Well, do this. If you continue to keep having trouble, let me know because I have one as well right here in Mountain View that I'm sure will be more than happy to take a look at it. And he's good. He's good. Well, we'll let you go and
Okay.
we love you. We'll keep fighting for you and we'll be messaging you.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye, Linda. Nice to finally talk to you for real.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Right.
All right, bye. Okay, well, we ended up getting a good interview and podcast. Now I'm dropping stuff. We're going to have to hang up because this one went extra long.
Oh, it's gonna take me
It's going to take you forever. I know. But, so we're going to cut it short now because
2 hours and 10 minutes.
well, I mean, from now, like, I'm tired of talking. We still got to do our post-podcast video. I got to smoke a cigarette.
You don't have to.
Well, no, I didn't. Get me another
You can start
Diet Coke.
vaping.
Yeah. No, I really like cigarettes a lot. I do. I don't want to quit.
Well, I know probably lesser two evils would be vape because.
I don't know now. You're hearing all this. I mean, stuff on vaping, like they're getting sick. Like it's supposed
You
to
know
be.
what? I gotta talk to you about that because I was listening to Andrew Wilkow a couple of days ago on Facebook, and they said that those kids who died from vaping died from using street products, not the legal stuff.
Okay.
They're not telling you that. They're conflating the Chinese-made street stuff
Gotcha.
with the legal stuff that's somewhat more regulated.
And I haven't.
Plus, the kids that died, they developed either art.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I think we probably talked for another 5 minutes or so. Anything crazy interesting. I think that this interview says it all. Please chime in and chat. Insofar as what you thought of this interview, I really appreciate it. If anybody's still up, we have. Let's see what's up. Let's have fun time. Fun time. 27 minutes. It's Christmas Eve. Let's see here. Nothing new on chat. I don't know, y'all maybe I'll be asleep, but that's okay because that's why we have Restream. People can go and rewatch. That interview, hands down, nothing like it. You'll never hear anything like it ever. It's so hard. It feels like Linda Ives. Y'all can understand Linda Ives. What that woman means to me, and hearing her voice, it's like, honestly, I kept picking up my phone the whole time, and I'm like, I want to call Linda, and she's not there. She's gone. But her legacy lives on, and so these interviews. You could not have asked for a better interview. In fact, this is the third interview that I've. Hey, Karen Maddox. I don't know. She put I wish I had met her. She seems like an awesome girl. Linda, there's no other. There's no other. Linda Ives is still my hero. And I know beyond the grave that she is with me, and she is cheering me on to fight this good fight. And I'm telling y'all, after everything the devil has thrown at me in the last 5 years, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. it's going to happen. I promised her that. I promised her that many times. And I just don't make promises that I won't keep. So, but that was that was fun, heartfelt interview. And then when it was over, it's like my heart just sunk because she's not here, but she's here, but she's not here. I can't talk to her. I can't call her. She is the most remarkable woman to ever grace this planet. I can tell you that right now. I put her up against anybody. Okay. I'm talking the most remarkable woman to ever grace this planet, Linda Hayden Ives. That's a true story. I'm going to go ahead and end it because it's Christmas Eve, which it's almost Christmas Eve in like 25 minutes. And I'm tired, and I have this new dog that I found on the highway that's been like over here. I think she might need to go potty and she has to go to the bathroom a lot. I gotta take her out. I want everyone to have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. I always say I'll be back. I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully midweek next week I will be, but I can't make any promises, y'all. Things I've been going, I'm not going to go into it all, but I have been going through a very, very rough time once again. Where it hurts to breathe. Okay. It's been that tough, and I don't want to, I share so much, and maybe I'll share it one of these days, but there's been things that, start to have panic attacks just thinking about it. But and it's the first Christmas without my daddy, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna have a good Christmas. And I'll be back soon. I've got I've got to figure out which interview to do next. I think I want to do the grand jury witness because I feel like that will put everything in perspective. If you're just joining, you're not gonna know what the hell's going on. You got to go back. That's what my work's for. Okay, I can only do so much for you. Go back to the, if anyone wants to chime in on the interview. If you want to do that now. I would love to see comments like, "Wow, that was a great interview." I mean, not me, meaning Linda. But if everybody's asleep, they're asleep. I don't know. Let's see here. Tim, oh, good night. And again, proud of you. Thank you. The proud of you stuff means the world to me. This is hard. It's hard. It's hard what I do. So hard. I'll end it with what I hate to talk about, and that's money. I did cancel my website. It is no more. In chat, you can send super chats like, I don't know, $5, $10, $20. I mean, it's almost over. So, but anyway, there's a dollar sign in there where you can send super chats to help support what I do. I got approved for memberships. If any of you would like to sign up for a membership to my channel, it's $4.99 a month. I picked the cheapest plan. Or if you prefer just to send money by Cash App or PayPal, my Cash App is $ShellyJoGovar, ShellyJoGov, as in Victor AR. I could definitely use the money. I've got things I need to do with all this stuff that I don't have the money for. And then my PayPal is at ShellyGovar, ShellyGovar. And it's Christmas too, and I've had to buy my daughter all her Christmas presents, and oh my God, it's just so hard, but we'll make it through regardless. I don't do this for the money, but everything costs money. Stay tuned for the West Memphis 3 with Amanda Hobbs interview that's coming. I'm meeting with again her and her daddy Terry Hobbs next week for a very long lunch, off the record, to see where we're going to go with this, and then the next podcast could be Amanda Hobbs sitting next to me and us doing that and taking a break from Boys on the Tracks for a hot second. Or it may be more Boys on the Tracks and then taking a break for a hot second and doing the Amanda Hobbs thing. We want to support her. She's a great girl. Terry Hobbs, a great man. He did not kill those boys. He did not molest those boys. He did not molest his daughter. And his daughter is going to be here to clear his name. Okay. And that's very important to me. And very important to her. Okay. And I talked about this earlier in the podcast. I think I've covered everything. I have a Jack Russell Terrier that's brand new dog off highway day. And she's over there. Hi, Maggie. I named her Maggie. My job wants to name her Soxus. Soxus. Soksus. I don't know why. But anyway, Majo haven't met her yet. She'll be home from her dad's tomorrow. We're doing want to talk about dysfunction junction Christmas. Like me, my mom, my sister, her sort of fiance, and then my ex-husband and his girlfriend. And I may or may not have a man come in over to spend Christmas with me. That's a good friend of mine. So that makes me excited and happy because I'm lonely, y'all. I mean, I am. I ain't lonely enough to do what I was talking about earlier, where somebody says they're gonna send me $1,000 if I come. Okay, yeah, no, not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. I'm not that girl. You got the wrong girl. Got the wrong girl on that. I think I've covered everything with that. I want every one of y'all to have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. Karen said some of her comments have been taken down. I don't know what comments, Karen. I didn't get to see them. Do me a favor, Karen. Message me on Messenger as soon as I hang up, and then I'll check it before I go to bed, and let me know what you said. Because I don't know what comments would have been taken down and what I see a ton of your comments. But message me and let me know. Because there could have been a misunderstanding with my mods or something. Anyways, very Merry Christmas for me and my family to yours. And y'all have a great Christmas Eve. Have a great Christmas. I love you all. Please listen. You don't want to pay $4.99. I'm so tired. $4.99 a month. You don't want to do a super chat. You don't want to do it. Share my stuff. That doesn't cost you a dime. Share this. This has got to get out there. That's the main thing. That's all I care about. At the end of the day, that's all I care about. Share my stuff. Take this video and share it to all your social media. Right? Okay. All right. This dog, oh wow, she's really getting anxious. I gotta go. I love you all. Listen, I'm Shelly Jo. My daughter is my Jo. She's the reason I fight. We're the judges for justice. Good night, y'all. I know I'm coming.